Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Lightpole Podcast. My name is Kyler. With me today are my three co-hosts. We got Darian, Joey, and Wiley. Today we got a pretty packed episode, but we're going to kick it off with some entertainment news, and we'll hand it over to Wiley for that.
Awesome. So I'm going to start with a big one. This is something that only Darian and I know of. I've been keeping it secret. It's Star Wars related for you, Kyler.
Holding this in was
We wanted your live reaction. So
Okay, I'm excited.
the title for the Taika Waititi trilogy has been released. Now I'm gonna give you an abbreviation, and you should know this, Kyler. So I want to see you piece it together.
I'm nervous now.
Yeah. FGPT.
Oh,
he's thinking.
You need to know this. You have to.
I knew this one off the bat. The news came out, what, an hour and a half ago, 2 hours?
Yeah, very recently. And I texted Darian and I was like, his mind's gonna be blown. FGPT. Kyler, come on. You're letting your fans down here. They know how much you love.
I'm so nervous. I'm trying to figure this out. Why do I not?
Joey, don't you look it up, you cheater.
Don't look it up, Joey. No, don't look it up. You want me to tell you?
Can I have a hint?
No.
No hints.
No hints.
No hints.
You got this off the bat, D? What the heck? Why do I not?
Oh, yep.
You want me to tell you?
Go ahead. Give it to me.
Fitness gram pacer test.
The poor thing. The poor thing. That was wrong. That was wrong. We shouldn't have done that.
If I wasn't hosting this meeting, I would actually leave. I would actually leave, and then I'd come back, but I would leave just to make a statement.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
That's right. It's going to make the real name that much
That was
better
beautiful.
when it comes out.
You don't know how excited I got.
I know.
I've been looking forward to this much. I was like, why do I know what it is? I hate you. Okay, move on. Just please.
FGPT.
GPT. All right, yeah, I apologize. No, I actually do have some entertainment news.
Is any of it Star Wars related? Because now I have like this thing inside me that's empty that needs to be filled.
Obi-Wan started filming.
That's not gonna.
And they released set photos. It looks pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah. But mine was more like some Marvel stuff. Spider-Man, apparently, there's a rumor that it is being filmed Spider-Man 3 and Spider-Man 4 back-to-back, just how they did Infinity War and Endgame.
Really?
Yeah. So apparently they're just taking advantage of having everyone on set, and it's such a big story that it fits into two separate movies. So...
You know what's going to happen? We're getting a cliffhanger again.
Yeah,
probably.
I can imagine, because all of the stuff that they're promising, I think it's going to be pretty much like what we were talking about before, where this is a complete setup movie. They're going to get everyone in there, and it's not going to be much about the other, like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. It's going to end before it gets
what if
to like
it
the
ends when they
thing.
swing in?
And then that's
they all
the
come
cliffhanger.
together.
I could absolutely see that happen.
It's possible.
I'd cry.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
That's not right.
It sucks, but then the entire next movie
Can
is
have
gonna
a
be
lot of
nothing
them.
but
All of them.
everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it'll be worth
I
it.
think that's the best way to go about it, because when the news came out and we were always like, I don't know how they're going to fit all these different Spider-Mans into one movie and give them backstories on how they got here and all this
Did you say
stuff.
Spider-Mans?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, I don't know. What's the plural? Oh, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Did you not know that? I thought you were
No.
joking.
Wow. I'm sorry. Okay.
All right.
You know what?
Nice.
If you're on Castbox, just stop listening.
Oh, man. I thought you were doing that for a bit. That's awesome.
Absolutely not. It hit me after.
Drink
Anyway.
your coffee.
Continue.
Yeah. I mean, it could be. It could definitely set up the fourth one to have me like Spider-Man 4 multiverse or whatever, Spider-Verse.
That would be amazing.
That would be pretty cool. We'll see. The first actual Spider-Man movie to make it to Spider-Man 4.
That is
Shoot.
true.
Wow,
Andrew
yeah.
Garfield didn't even make it to 3.
Not to
Thank
3.
goodness.
Yeah, I got canceled. He signed on for 3 and
He
it
got
got
such a
canceled.
bad rap, man.
I
I
liked
actually
him.
liked
I
those.
liked those
He's
movies.
cool.
Yeah.
He did it good. Yeah, it was different.
The movies
but,
just
I mean,
weren't.
The swinging was amazing.
Yeah,
Best
I
Spider-Man
love the
swinging
first
we've
person.
seen.
Cool.
The
Yeah.
first person views were awesome.
Yeah.
They had some
But-
crazy scenes too, like when Gwen Stacy died in the second movie. Like that hit.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
imagine if the movie was actually good, how much harder that would have hit.
It was just
Yeah.
upsetting because I knew her death in the comics, and when I see her falling down, I was
Yeah.
like,
I
"No,
was like,
there's no way that
well,
you can do this." Like, come
bye.
on.
I remember you guys telling me that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's sad. Other Marvel news. Supposedly, Doctor Doom will appear in Black Panther 2.
You stop it.
Doctor Doom.
bye.
Doctor Doom and Black Panther 2?
No idea why.
Well, this is
maybe
a
that
setup
can
for Fantastic Four.
set up for Fantastic Four. Yeah.
It'll be like after credit scene.
Probably.
So maybe X-Men introduced through WandaVision and
X-Men's not going to be
Fantastic
for a
Four
while.
introduced.
Yeah.
But if they drop Quicksilver in that thing, then at least we know they're here.
Well, it's
Remember
just,
the
it's
clip
just
that you had sent where
introducing.
he's
Yeah.
might show up?
Yeah, so we're gonna get into WandaVision review because we all saw it.
It's been a
and some
week.
of the Easter eggs that were in there that Marvel's pretty much using to set up future projects, and it's pretty impressive in 25-minute episodes how many Easter eggs they've managed to already
In
like,
black
kind of
and white,
pack in
and they're
there.
just
Yeah.
straight
Wild.
up like
Yeah, super subtle. It's really impressive.
Do you have anything else?
I was gonna say Matt Damon officially showed up to Australia to film Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No idea.
What is he gonna
No,
play?
Is he playing Loki in the play again?
Listen, if they're gonna do, because supposedly because of what's happening in WandaVision, not getting into too much spoilers territory, but supposedly what's happening in there is gonna set up a multiverse. And that's pretty much what the Spider-Man movie is going to be about and what the Thor movie is going to be about. Them dealing with their own different versions of themselves and stuff like that, right? So the only thing I could think of is because of a multiverse, there's a universe
Loki.
where Loki is Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Because he played him as an actor.
Amazing.
Yeah. That's the only thing
I feel like it has to be a little bit bigger though, because he moved out there for the entirety of the film sessions.
So
Well,
maybe
it's
a whole
probably
different-
because you can't traveling back and
Travel
forth
back and
right
forth,
now
yeah.
is it doesn't make sense for someone like that to be
That
going
could
back
be
and
true.
forth between
Maybe.
like it's in Australia, right?
Australia. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Australia and California. It's insane to do that.
Yonanda.
And it's what, a 2-week quarantine
Yeah. So,
there
yeah.
and back. So yeah, it would
Yeah.
make more sense to just move residents for a while.
And
Cool.
he's rich.
Well,
He
yeah,
can
I
do
love
it.
Matt
I mean,
Damon.
yeah. I love
Yeah.
Matt Damon too, so we'll see.
I love it when they throw like big name actors in Marvel movies for
And you have no
reason.
idea what.
Like for
yeah.
stupid like stupid stuff like that. He played Loki in a play for all of 30 seconds.
Mhm.
I was watching it today. I was watching Ragnarok, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
And you're just like,
So
is
good.
that Matt Damon? And it is.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he was on set one day and he was like, hey, can I be in your movie? And they're like, sure.
yeah, because
That's
as
pretty
much
it.
as much flack as those Marvel movies get in like the Hollywood scene with the big
They're good
directors and the big
movies.
actors and stuff, they're good movies, and a lot of the actors like them as like fun movies, and they want to be in them. So
Who was there was somebody saying, I forget which actor it was. If I remember, I'll say it. But he was saying, I absolutely. Oh, it was Ben Affleck. He said Kevin Feige he was like, I absolutely trust Kevin Feige. He's the best producer to ever live. He was like, Kevin Feige can come and tell me right now, this is what the audience wants.
Whoa.
And no matter what he says, I'm gonna be like, yeah, you're right. Because it's been proven. Like look at the amount of money they've made and all that, you know? So
When
Best
you actually
producer ever.
listen to your audience base and
Yeah.
what they're
Yeah.
asking for, obviously you're going to get the praise that you deserve because you're giving the people literally what they're asking for. Nobody's going to get you in trouble for that.
yeah.
And then you're going to get the money back because people are going to go watch what they're asking for. It's
Yeah.
I don't understand why more people don't just do that. Like, no. They
Nah,
don't
this
want
is
that.
what
They
I
want
want.
this.
Yeah.
And everyone's like,
from what I heard, Kathleen Kennedy might be stepping down soon before the next set of movies come out for Star Wars.
I thought
She's
that was
like,
confirmed.
yeah, I don't think it was confirmed. I think it's still
It was
rumored.
like rumored
Oh,
Because-
okay.
yeah, I just found that interesting because
Jon Favreau,
as awesome
please.
as she is, yeah, we need someone like Jon Favreau because she's a really good producer outside of Star Wars. Just here,
Yeah.
I mean, you saw what happened with that trilogy. It's not it.
Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni? I know they probably wouldn't give it to Dave.
It would be
Filoni.
more Jon Favreau.
Yeah,
Filoni,
yeah.
the only live action thing he's done is The Mandalorian. So,
Yeah. But that would be so amazing. That is so amazing.
Leave Filoni in his spot.
yeah, leave Filoni where he is. He's comfortable. Feige also said that one of his biggest like heartbreaks is the fact that we won't be able to see on screen Tony Stark and Reed Richards together.
Yeah, I did see that.
Oh, you're right.
Wow.
They'll never be able to do the Illuminati,
Yeah.
which would be really cool. But then again, they tried the whole thing with the Inhumans, and that didn't work out too well. So
Yeah.
that wouldn't have worked anyway.
Yeah, but the
Two questions.
budget for that was
First, in the comics, were Reed Richards and Tony Stark like boys, mad tight?
yeah, they were in the Illuminati with it was them two.
Second question, what's the Illuminati?
Black
Black
Panther.
Bolt,
Or was
Black Panther. No, Black
no,
Panther.
not Black
isn't-
Panther. It was Black Bolt.
Oh.
Yeah, yep,
Black Bolt and
Black
Professor
Bolt's
X.
yep. And they were
What?
pretty
It's
much
like, it's like the heads of all the different organizations
yeah,
in Marvel.
and they pretty much oversaw like all the different like heroes and stuff like that.
It was
And they
like
just
a-
they were called the Illuminati?
Yeah, it was yeah.
They just met up in
just-
secret and just like chilled. But Black
then-
Bolt couldn't say
Just
anything
go
because
out and open.
Yeah, but then this is where the Skrull invasion
Secret
comes into
invasion.
play. The secret invasion because they infiltrated the Illuminati, which is like the highest you can get to. So that's why they like kind of
Yeah.
it's
Interesting.
that comic
So
comic
good.
arc is amazing.
The Illuminati is just so out and open, man. Wait till the conspiracy episode. This is ridiculous.
Anyway,
this is gonna drop knowledge.
speaking of Tony Stark, that does bring me to a wild kind of out there rumor. Apparently, RDJ Robert Downey Jr. has met with Star Wars to discussing a role in future Star Wars
Stop
projects.
it.
You're lying.
Apparently, that's a rumor that's out there. I don't know how accurate it is. Most people,
What?
well, I won't say they're speculating, but like a lot of the fans would like to see him as Thrawn.
I saw that. I wouldn't.
I
know
don't.
if
I
I'd
personally
like,
don't. I don't.
Yeah.
Hearing his voice, I don't think it would. I don't know.
I just
Not
don't see.
even
I just don't
voice. I
see him
just-
as that character. You know?
I stop talking, everybody jumps.
No, yeah, it's just more like his acting style. I don't think that character is suited for his acting style. I think something ideally, Lars Mikkelsen, who plays the voice of Thrawn in Rebels, I think given the makeup and stuff like that, he could actually play a good live action Thrawn, and he's a live action actor as well. He was in the second to last season of Sherlock. He played Maximus, something like that. Max.
I'll
I
tell you
have to
remember.
rewatch.
Lost me there.
Oh, okay.
Your
But yeah, he was
microphone is really
great
loud, by the way,
actor.
Joey.
Oh, sorry.
It kind of like broke my
Or-
ear when you talked.
Or
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch. I think those.
Ah,
two,
that's what I was gonna
Benedict
say.
Cumberbatch
Those
by
two would
far
be
would be the one I
perfect.
want to see. Yeah.
Yeah, Beeble Cumbersnatch. That's what I was gonna say because he just comes. I mean, think about him as
there goes
Khan.
our invitation.
I
man
loved
for the
him.
podcast.
I loved him as Khan. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I loved him as Khan in Star Trek. He played
He
that
kills
kind
it
of
as,
role.
like a cunning
Yeah.
villain like that. I could definitely see that.
But he could also like beat the living mess out of you if
Definitely.
you
Yeah.
wanted to. Which
Dude,
Thrawn
he
also
looks
can.
like Thrawn.
Yeah.
Like give him blue paint.
Yeah.
He can
Exactly.
be Thrawn. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I
So-
agree. That would be pretty cool, but I don't know. I don't know what other kind of character I would see RDJ as though. Maybe some obscure new
sassy
Jedi or like. Yeah,
The sassy side RDJ is not a sidekick character.
No, he's not. He's
he
not.
could be like some mentor to somebody. I don't know.
Do you see how bad Doolittle flopped? His first movie post Marvel.
Yeah, but that's because most
trash.
people kind of boycotted that because they want Doolittle like Eddie Murphy, Dr. Doolittle, and not the original Doolittle. You know,
Maybe.
'Cause
I
a
didn't
lot of
see it,
peop-
so I don't have it.
a lot of people
thought it
didn't
was
realize
horrible.
Doolittle. That's how Doolittle was originally, and then they recreated it for Eddie Murphy.
But most of us grew up with Eddie Murphy.
Eddie
Doolittle,
Murphy,
so I
yeah.
can see where the attachment is.
Yeah,
I don't even remember those movies. It's if I
Neither do
watched
I.
them again right now, it'd be like watching for the first time.
Yeah. Do you see Christopher Nolan apparently is done with WB?
really?
No more Warner Bros. Christopher Nolan movies.
Wow.
So if you remember what happened over, the course of them dropping all their movies on HBO Max, and
do you think that's going to affect his like projects moving forward?
Like
the quality?
I haven't read that he doesn't have anything coming out soon where it would really hurt his production value.
You really think there's no other production company that's going to be like your Nolan, have as much money as you want?
Obviously he can go wherever he wants. I know that because his stuff is just amazing. But I just hope that it's not going to change, because Christopher Nolan movies have a very specific like flavor to them. Like as soon as you see one scene, maybe 3 seconds, you're like, this is a Nolan.
Literally, the opening to Tenet, which we'll get into later, the opera scene, as soon as it started, I was like, this is Nolan. Like,
just the way the camera moves and the environment, you know that it's Nolan. I don't want it to lose that.
So, I mean, I think the cool thing is he's going to obviously shop around for different production companies. And I think Nolan is one of a handful, like less than 5 directors, where a production company would give you hundreds of millions of dollars for a movie that no one knows anything about, like Tenet, or Interstellar or Inception.
Because you're trustworthy.
Everything now we're in the era of reboots and sequels and Mission Impossible 13s. Nolan is dropping solos and crushing it at the box office. So
which is it's refreshing. It's really refreshing to get something like that. Of such high quality.
Exactly.
Because then you have
everything since Insomnia with Warner Brothers. All of his movies. Insomnia was the one with Al Pacino. It was his first theatrical release ever.
I thought Memento was his first theatrical release.
I think Insomnia was before Memento.
I haven't
seen Insomnia either, Joe.
I haven't seen that.
Nah.
Huh.
That was his. I believe that was his first one.
We're fake fans.
Oh my god, I feel so bad now.
Well, Memento.
I saw Memento.
Was 2000, and Insomnia was 2002. So Memento was the first one.
So Memento was first.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
I've never even heard of Insomnia.
With Robin Williams. Yeah.
Robin Williams. Yeah.
Robin Williams?
Yeah.
Huh.
He was okay. I'm sure he was a nice guy.
You're a horrible person.
I don't like any of his movies. Sorry.
Oh my god. Any of them? What the heck?
What's wrong?
You're just going to throw a blanket? I don't like any of his movies out there?
I mean, I literally can't name you one. Throw out some good Robin Williams movies.
Jumanji.
Flubber.
Oh, okay. Jumanji.
OG Jumanji is incredible.
I like Jumanji.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay. I got him with the first one I threw out.
Name one good movie. Jumanji. All right, you're right.
Yeah. True. Wiley, you got anything else for us for entertainment news?
Supposedly they were thinking for the Zack Snyder cut Justice League to make it into like mini series, like split it up, but they said officially they're just going to release it as one 4-hour cut.
4 hours.
That movie, they've been talking about that movie for like 6 years. And at this point, I could not possibly care any less. Like, bring it out and just shut up. Because I'm tired of hearing about it, honestly.
On the ground for that movie.
No,
so
I could not possibly care any less.
Yeah. I'm probably going to split it into 3 viewings anyway. I could barely sit through a 2-hour movie.
Honestly, I probably won't even watch it.
I'll watch it first for you guys.
Honestly.
I'll watch it first and then let you guys know.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
You know I can do it. You know I can do it.
I don't want to waste my time if it's a
sacrifice myself.
Trash.
I don't know. Just give me the same thing as you. Sorry. Ordering Starbucks here live on the podcast. So.
Hey, get yourself a medium.
I was gonna get the
dragon fruit, 4 pumps of raspberry.
No, I was gonna get the salted caramel thing. But I'm ordering it on Uber Eats and it's like super difficult to add all those extra stuff. So I'll just get.
Crystal ordered that drink. We went to I think it was like a Target or something like that, and we stopped at the Starbucks that was in there. And she got it. She said it was like delicious.
Which one? Kyle?
The one that he was saying.
The refresher that I did.
The refresher.
It was I think I told her a strawberry acai with guava juice and 4 pumps of raspberry.
She screenshot that when you posted it on Instagram.
Yep.
She was like, "I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna order it next time I go."
I screenshotted the salted caramel one. I want to try that. See? I might try it tomorrow or something.
You're gonna love it. It's real sweet, so that's your type of drink for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Me and you have similar coffee tastes. So
exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
that's
Starbucks
pretty much
for the episode.
That's pretty much it for entertainment news for me, though.
Okay.
Oh wait, one more. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Over the next year, the Lucasfilm Games. Oh, I'm sorry. Lucasfilm Games have said that they're gonna announce like a bunch of new games and that keep in line with some of the old ones. So there's speculation on like Republic Commando and stuff like that. So we'll see.
Yep.
Ooh.
And I heard that a lot of I think 4 of the voice actors from Battlefront 2 are recording a project together, but they haven't announced what it is. So
You know what?
Original Battlefront 2?
No.
The new Battlefront 2.
Yeah, thank you, Jace. It's highly speculated to be a Battlefront 3. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. This just in from Jace.
Just in, yeah.
Thank you, Jace.
Why did I do the exact same bit? I love it. So when my opinion of video games is my complete opposite opinion when it comes to movies. I want original movies. I want new stuff. Video games,
I want remasters.
give me remakes.
Yeah.
Give me a remastered version of all of their old stuff, and I will be the happiest kid in the world. That is
true.
like amazing. Just give me remastered Republic Commando, give me remastered Knights of the Old Republic 2 or Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, and I'll be fine.
You know what I want a remastered version of? Freaking Episode 3. That game was amazing. The dueling in that
when
was...
you could beat Obi-Wan.
Yo, they had
the
alternate
Emperor and
endings. You can become that was
your
amazing.
own Emperor as Anakin.
Yeah.
It's insane.
You didn't play Episode 3, guys. Episode 3 was amazing.
Well, I didn't play it. Again, I watched you.
Hey,
play
no,
it
we
at your
played.
house.
We fought against each
I did not
other.
play it. I
We
did
fought
not
against
play
each
it.
other. We fought against
Wiley.
each other.
Wiley.
There was the
We have
multiplayer mode.
Millions of people listening to this right now.
Millions of people.
Joey, did you?
Millions of people.
Well, we
All
got
of
people in
America.
India.
We got people in
listening to
India,
this.
yeah,
Indonesia.
and Indonesia, both.
Brothers,
And
my
in
brothers
the
in
UK.
India. I listen to Pavdaria Teriya Dan. You give me any Bangladesh
actually
music,
does.
some Punjabi music. I know the lyrics. You are my brothers over there. 1.3 billion of you. All right. So just wanted to shout out my brothers from the Punjab.
Yeah, we get
Anyway.
canceled. Anyway,
How we gonna get canceled?
I'm just saying. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm done now.
Cool. Moving on.
Moving on.
I think
Yeah.
we're all set.
Okay, so that will bring us into our WandaVision review. So we can kind of handle this sort of like the Mando review, if we want. We can go around and give like our own personal rating. We all watched episodes 1 and 2 together because they
released
25 minutes.
They
Yeah, and
released
on
at
the
the same
day.
time. Yeah.
So we'll just kind of bunch them together and give it an overall review of both episodes at the same time. So you want to start with let's start with Joey. What'd you think, Joey?
Ooh,
Oh, good.
I knew it. Let's see. Should I give it a 9? I'll say a 9 for now. Honestly, I like that it's a different
Wow.
change of pace. I honestly
Okay.
appreciate the different change of pace, different taste.
Style.
It was black and white, throwing it back. And the comedy and the humor was exactly of that you would see in a show from back then. And
Yeah.
I just knew that at some point in the show, they were going to do that, hints or whatever, what's actually happened to Wanda. So I like that they're throwing it in there, but they were throwing it in there hard. So
Yeah.
we didn't have to wait long for that, which I liked.
True.
I appreciated it. I appreciated that.
Higher than I was expecting,
respect
but
that.
I respect it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wiley, what did you think?
So I'm on par with Joey there. I personally also gave it a 9 for very similar reasons. I like what they're doing with it. I like how accurate it is to the time period that it's supposed to be set in.
Mm-hmm.
I like how different and creepy it is for a Marvel project. Like
I did.
Right.
It's not supposed to be creepy, but there were some scenes
there's
where I
some
was like,
scenes
it's
where
like
it kind of
eerie.
throws you off. Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
like
Those
mentally
vibes.
like it's kind of weird. So I do like that fact. And like he said, I like how they throw in like little pieces of where you can kind of see Wanda breaking out into reality, but then
Yep.
she comes right back in because she doesn't want to go out. You know what I mean? So it's kind of it's interesting. I like this point of view that they're doing. So
Okay.
How many episodes are in the season, by the way? 6?
I believe there's going to be 6 or 8. I don't remember. I think.
Oh, wait, hold
I thought it
on.
was 8.
Yeah, so if I remember
6.
correctly, all of the shows Marvel is doing this year
They're gonna
are
line up.
roughly each about 6 hours of content. But the episodes vary in how long they are. So
Yeah.
what the Falcon and Winter Soldier are going to be an hour each.
Yeah, I think Winter Soldier is
6
6 episodes, an hour each,
Yeah,
and then this one is
okay.
like 8 episodes, and they're like 30 to 40 minutes each or something.
Exactly.
That's my biggest gripe with this whole thing. That I mean, you wait all this time, they're hyping it up, and you have 25-minute episodes. It's a little frustrating.
I think that's why they
with 10-minute credits.
I think that's why they
literally.
Yeah.
There was 8 minutes of credits after the first episode.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
I thought it was gonna be like a Marvel movie and something in the end. So I'm like, yeah.
I fast forwarded, and I was like, "What the heck?" That's,
Like,
that's
geez. They were
insane.
saying thank you to like their production designers, like Godchildren in Indonesia. I was like, why do we have this many credits?
I think
boy.
I think that's why they dropped the first 2 in one shot because they were shorter. I'm assuming the next episode will probably be a little longer. I have no confirmation on that, but-
Hopefully,
which
yeah.
will be tomorrow
Yeah.
at the time of recording this. So.
Oh yeah.
All right, T. What did you think?
Oh man. So we don't do halves on this show. I felt like a 7.5, but I'm gonna go to an 8. I definitely
enough.
get where you guys are coming from. I like the style, and the comedy really landed with me. I didn't think it was like when
Yeah.
Vision started singing Yakety Yak, like
That
I was
was
dying.
hilarious.
I was dying. I was dying in the living room. A lot of the jokes like really landed with me. There were some parts where I kind of got bored, so that was like I didn't think it was groundbreaking television by any means, because I'm reading a lot of people being like, the bad reviews, people just don't get it. This is groundbreaking. This is, moving forward. This is all this artistic stuff. And it's like,
You don't have to jump on the bandwagon that hard.
sometimes the curtains are just blue. It doesn't represent anything. So that's what I felt with this. It was
Fair
it was
enough.
fun. They were good episodes. I didn't think they were anything out of this world,
Mhm.
but I like the comedy. They were both definitely a different way of doing things, and I like the way they kept hinting at all this different stuff.
Yeah. You can
So
see there's a
I'm-
bigger picture happening.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
100% in the same frame of mind as Darian here. I give it the same rating. Pretty much everything. I would say the exact same thing. I think coming into this show, you have to take yourself out of the frame of mind of all the
Yeah.
movies that you've seen
Yeah.
and say,
definitely.
okay, I'm not watching a Marvel movie. I'm looking at one of their new projects, because that's what this is. It's a new project. They're shifting gears completely. They're switching it up and going in a different direction. So that's what you have to remember going in. It's not going to be all like explosions and all this like crazy stuff. And again, and we kind of talked about this when it came to The Mandalorian as well, this is obviously setting us up for something later on. So the first 2 episodes, not a lot happened. But once we're done with the season, or maybe the second season, coming back, you'll be like, oh, okay, that's why they did this. That's why they spent all pretty much an hour, 2 25-minute episodes, kind of wasting time because it was leading us up to what happened in this episode.
If there even is a second season, because as far as I know, this one season is supposed to set up the Doctor Strange
Might
movie,
be a
so
standalone.
it might be a standalone season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, that I didn't know. I thought it was going to be like an ongoing series.
I think
We just
some
don't
of the
know yet.
other ones, I don't know. Yeah, but from my understanding, it's like this is supposed to set up the upcoming movies. It's all going to tie into this storyline. So if that's the case, I don't know where they would go with another season. If like, you know what I mean? But I have no idea. I have no idea.
See,
Well,
that
you mentioned Kyler. I think this was my problem with Mandalorian, where I felt like there was a lot of wasted time. I don't feel like that with these episodes. I think, or maybe I'm just trying to review them from a different frame of mind, where these 2 were standalone episodes, and I'm thinking about them for what they were. Because if I think about the grand scheme of things, and I start thinking there's only 6 episodes this season, we wasted 2 on this, then I'd be like frustrated. But just from a standalone 2-episode perspective, I thought it was really funny, really good for the
was
time,
entertaining.
stuff like that. It was entertaining. It was good television.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way of looking at it.
Yeah.
And they teased how many different villains, and the commercials
So-
were amazing too.
Yeah.
That you see, I really liked that even though it was still obviously part of the show,
Yep.
they kind of switched it up and went with like these advertisements that you'd see in that time period, but in like having those advertisements, they were still giving you Easter eggs for like the watch that had the Hydra symbol on it and stuff like that. So that I felt like that was really creative in the way that they filmed everything. Like they're not wasting their airtime. They're saying, even though this doesn't have anything to do with Wanda or Vision, we're still giving you little hints of stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. You said the amount of villains they're teasing. The one that is really interesting to me, which is like the biggest theory right now, is that they're teasing towards Mephisto. Who
I saw that. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys. Yeah. So basically, Mephisto really is he kind of like lives in like altered reality sort of thing, and he uses in the comics he uses Wanda to get to her children, and he uses them as like his little minions type of thing. So and it's kind of you can kind of see it going in that direction because now she's pregnant, she's gonna have these kids, and then there's like little teases towards it, and they were saying that Agnes, the neighbor that's always with her, is like part of Mephisto and trying to get to her and stuff like that. So
okay.
I saw something. They were showing an old interview with one of the directors, and in the background when they were talking about this was months ago before
Wonder
this came
Man,
out, in the background you see some concept art. No, of Mephisto. Well, it was like, it's tough to see because it's kind of blurry, but it kind of looks like concept art of Mephisto on the wall. Was he red?
Yeah, Mephisto's red. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they were saying if you look here, he's red, and you can see all this stuff. So rumor has it he might be the main villain, but I mean, they teased like how many different things.
They also teased Wonder Man in that same interview that you're talking about in the background.
Okay.
Which was part of
Wonder Man
was part of like the original Avengers back in the day, but he's irrelevant. But yeah,
he's in Ultimate Alliance.
Is he? I don't remember.
Yeah. I remember that. That's what I remember him from, because I don't remember him from any of the comic books or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I love it when they take these like super obscure characters and just like toss them in there, because nobody's gonna understand except like the hardcore fans, which there are millions of. But
yeah,
like who's gonna really analyze and zoom in that much to like the milk carton that was in the beginning like title sequence, and there was like I was like, what?
Yeah.
Now that I think about it,
so weird.
DC superheroes have some really whack names. Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman.
They're just household names, weak. So you hear it so often that it becomes just like...
You don't even think about it.
Yeah. Green Lantern.
Yeah.
No, I kind of like
Arrow.
Green Lantern.
That's a weird name. His symbol is a Green Lantern, so he's called the Green Lantern.
Martian Manhunter?
Yeah.
That's unique. I'm talking.
It's just
about
a description of what he is.
That's true. There wasn't much stock going into it. I heard Wonder Man, and I was like, "That's a weak name." And I'm like, "Wait, there's Wonder Woman. We're just used to it, you know." Our daily dose of Ren.
Our daily dose of Ren. Yeah, Wendy was talking to me before the podcast, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'll keep the door closed, whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's okay if he comes in. Everyone waits for our appearance of Ren every single episode."
Yeah.
He gives his 2 cents.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about football now? Good
what do you
Lord.
have to say about it, Ren? Because you watched the first 2 episodes with me. You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Language.
He said.
We gotta bleep that out.
He said 8 out of 10.
He said bleep it out. Stupid. Red's got to watch his profanity, man. That's disgusting.
Watch your profanity.
Watch your profanity.
So overall, pretty cool. I think it's gonna be exciting to see where it goes in the next 4 episodes. I think this next episode is going to go down.
Yeah, I think so too. It's going to definitely. Can we discuss real quick like those scenes where reality's breaking for
said super eerie.
Yeah, like the scene in the first episode. The first episode where
dinner with Mr. Hart.
Dinner with Mr. Hart, and he's choking.
Yeah, and the wife.
Yeah, what in the world was going on there?
Right there. So basically, if you break it down, you can see that all these characters are in her head, and they can't do anything unless she makes it happen. So that's why the wife was just saying, "Stop it, stop it," and she was stuck in that loop. Vision froze up, and he wasn't doing anything, and he didn't move until she said, "Vision, go help him." And then you can see like he looked like disturbed.
Because they're like characters in her own person.
They're all waiting for her to,
Oh, okay.
And I don't know.
That first episode really felt like a 50s one, because that whole plot of the boss coming over for dinner and nothing's going right. But you see when the camera changed when he was choking and stuff, it goes to like modern
switched
day.
completely. Yeah.
And then it goes right back to the 50s style audience view, that kind of stuff. So I found that really cool, the way they just like seamlessly went between those two.
Yeah, I think it's stuff like that. Like that's what's really getting to me. I'm like, oh, that's just pretty cool. Like
it's creative.
Now, why are some pieces in color and the only color we see is red? Have you guys thought about that? You know those scenes where she picks up the airplane.
Yeah.
And who crawled out of the sewer?
That's one of the sword agents.
Yeah,
so basically, these sword agents keep trying to get to her, because she's in this like augmented reality in her head, and I don't know.
No, sword is good.
That's
good. Like Shield.
Yeah,
it's like the space version of Shield.
Yeah,
those
so
they're not. That
it's not
Samuel
malicious.
Jackson was with in the end credit scene of Captain Marvel. He was on that big
probably
ship with all those people.
Oh, you know what? That would make sense.
That would make sense. Yeah. And that ties into Monica Rambeau because she was friends with Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Her mom was
her
mom was friends with Captain Marvel, and she knows Nick Fury, so that would make sense because she's
the
working
same actress
with
though, right? She's just playing her daughter.
No,
the same actress?
No,
it wasn't
I thought that, but no.
No, it's a whole different.
I thought it was. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I tried to erase Captain Marvel from my memory, so that's why I made it.
I've successfully done it.
Gone. So pretty much they're trying to get to her. So like on the radio, the voice that was Jimmy Woo, which
from Ant-Man.
Yeah, exactly. Ray Park,
Love
right?
Jimmy
Is
Woo.
his name? What? Isn't his name
Ant-Man?
Ray Park?
Oh, and I don't know.
In real life?
Yeah, in real life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
his real name is Ray Park?
I'm pretty sure, isn't it? Anyway.
No, Ray Park is Darth Maul.
No, that's right.
Oh, true.
I don't know. I'm
an embarrassed Star Wars fan.
I'm getting
Randall Park.
Randall Park. Yeah, there we go.
You were close.
Close enough. Yeah. Close enough.
But yeah, so that's his. Yeah, he was an Ant-Man. But so like he's trying to help her. Then you have the Monica trying to help her. The beekeeper, I don't know, that was just some unnamed character, but they're pretty much trying to get to her, and I think this is where the Mephisto storyline comes into play. I think maybe Mephisto is in her head, causing her to spiral out, and that's why he was like, "Who's doing this to you? Who's doing this to you?" Maybe they're trying to fight him.
Now, is Mephisto's bad? He's a villain.
Yeah, he's a villain.
So Sword is trying to get to her, and Mephisto is trying to get to her at the same time. Okay.
Maybe Mephisto already got to her, which is
I
she's
think
in that reality.
Yeah.
And Sword is trying to help.
She's believing it because Vision's there, the love of her life, and Sword is trying to break her from that.
Wow. So this entire show is pretty much just like a really bad acid trip.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
DMT. All right.
Yeah, he can project illusions, manipulate memories, and alter time.
That's a little OP.
So
alter time.
Yeah. So pretty much, it makes sense. It could be him interacting with her.
Huh.
Watch him show up as Quicksilver. Try to do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Holy cow! So excited for that. Well, did anybody here see Dark Phoenix, the last X-Men movie?
I didn't bother.
I never wasted my time.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen New Mutants.
Me either.
It was straight doo-doo.
Of course it was.
Yeah,
I don't know how you do it,
me?
Joey. I don't know how you do it knowing the movie's going to be bad. How do you
know?
If I
the
know,
writer for
I knew it was X-Men. I had to watch it, but even though it was bad,
I'll just read on it.
The writer for Dark Phoenix was the writer for The Last Stand.
Wow.
They chose the writer of the worst rated original X-Men movie and brought him back to do the same story for the new X-Men trilogy. Where is the leadership? Why would you do something like that? And this bombed. It did horribly.
Oh, that's Fox. So
true. I don't waste my time on
talk about that.
You look perplexed, Kyler.
I just had my brain wasn't clicking with something. That thing that you said that you sent us with the whole Quicksilver being in WandaVision and stuff like that. They showed in the picture. They showed the one from X-Men.
Yeah.
I completely forgot that Quicksilver is her brother.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that's gonna be like an X-Men tie-in thing, and then now I'm realizing that it's her brother.
Supposedly both.
I didn't even know that.
Supposedly both Quicksilvers.
Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
He died. He's the one who ate all the bullets.
Quicksilver. Yeah.
I said this in an episode. Okay. If whoever's listening to this.
Oh yeah, no, I don't remember that.
Whoever's listening to this, please. I don't remember which episode. It was one of our first ones. I want to say episode 2 or 3. I mentioned, Joey remembers, I mentioned that both Quicksilvers are supposed to make an appearance in this show. I really do. And I remember I spent like 5 minutes looking up the actor's name.
Vaguely I remember that.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I remember.
Okay, yeah.
That just hit us at the same time. Yep.
I remember sitting here like trying to like vamp while you.
Yeah, I was looking at the meme. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Joey, you might have remembered
Wanda's
that.
dead.
Yeah.
X-Men's Wanda's dead. Remember the little girl got shot with the arrow?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at D because I know he doesn't remember.
No.
That's when Magneto went off and like killed
he took
all
the
soldiers
necklace.
with the necklace.
Remember he took
that was what? Not first class. Days of
For,
Future
oh, wait.
Past.
The woman who froze with Diamond?
No. Remember
Magneto
Eric,
was like in Germany or something like that.
He had a daughter, and the daughter was able to talk to animals because that's one of her powers is speak with animals, whatever.
What?
Yeah, that was
Wanda's
Wanda.
so powerful.
You remember that? And they were hunting him down. And
she died.
Yeah.
But that...
Wow.
They went after him with bows and arrows
This is
instead
all
of
coming
guns. And then he just like murdered everyone with a necklace.
Necklace.
Yeah, it was pretty horrible.
I am beyond excited to see what they do with X-Men in Marvel. X-Men is like the attachment I have to X-Men. I am so hyped.
I don't have any attachment because all the X-Men movies are garbage in my opinion. Except the original like 2. After the scene with Nightcrawler in the White House, I hate everything.
That was a pretty epic scene.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Cried and killed himself.
So now, it's ridiculous. So
I hated that.
Cyclops was my favorite X-Men. Until he went full emo, and he was like, that killed me. I was like, what? Why did they ruin him so much in The Last Stand? I still love those movies though. All of them.
I always wanted to see. I would love to see like them introducing X-Men into the MCU, but like the Avengers don't know who they are and they fight against each other.
It's a threat.
I would love to see that until they come to
Avengers
the conclusion.
Like,
I
feel like how many times does that happen in the comics where they fight each other? That's like a reoccurring arc.
Yeah, but I don't know how
squabbling.
That'd be awesome.
Do you think they'll meet each other through Deadpool? Since Deadpool's part of the MCU
That'd
now,
be so cool.
and Colossus and whatnot. I'm just saying,
it's possible.
That'd be
We'll
awesome.
See.
Maybe.
I want to see Silver Surfer done right.
They
He's like a crazy
Gordon
OP character.
That last piece of entertainment news. Kevin Feige said we won't get another Avengers movie until the end of Phase 4, or until Phase 5. But then they asked him how long is Phase 4, and he said no comment. So
the crazy thing is that that dude it's so cool. That dude knows the next 10 years.
Oh yeah, he has it all set up.
That is so cool.
The complete opposite of DC.
Yeah, they're like
DC doesn't know 10 months from now.
No.
We're hoping Gal
They're still
Gadot
trying to
back.
figure out how to release a movie that came out 4 years ago.
Yeah,
or 5 years ago. How to re-release it.
Yeah.
They can't get that right. They're like, should we do a miniseries? Should we just release the whole thing?
Give them the whole thing. These plebeians don't need anything else.
Exactly. So,
all right.
Anyway, moving forward to the actual topic of today, we're going to be talking about time, which, as anyone who's listened to this podcast might know, I'm a huge sucker for when it comes to movies.
More specifically, time travel.
What do we look like?
Yes.
Yeah, we're not fans of time travel. We're not fans.
We all love time.
I'm getting to it. Calm down.
Get a load of this guy, eh?
We've all talked about time and how much we love it. So we're going to be talking a little bit about actual theories of time travel, possible time travel in our lifetime. Well, not our lifetime, but things that are actually possible on Earth now. And then later on, we're going to get into some time travel movies. So there are 3 major misconceptions about time. Do you guys know what any of them are?
Time is linear.
Actually, yes, that is one of them.
Wow. Time is real.
That is not one of them. No.
I thought we were gonna go philosophical.
No.
Deep
No,
with
I
that.
have a whole bunch of notes actually written down about this. So the first one is time is universal, i.e., if it's 12 o'clock here, it's 12 o'clock on the moon. It's 12 o'clock everywhere in the universe.
Yeah.
Not the case. Time isn't uniform. So in space, like if you're just floating around in the abyss, your watch is actually going to go a lot slower than it would on Earth. And they don't really know why. The time is completely theoretical, pretty much. It's insane.
Interesting.
It ticks at different rates and in different places. Yeah. No, this is like the thing.
Like they put a clock in space to see what would happen.
So does it go back to gravity?
Yes.
And
we're going to get to that later on.
Okay.
And the third misconception is how we understand time as a dimension. Do you know the three? Okay, let's go back a little bit. What are the dimensions that we live in on Earth right now?
3D.
The 3 dimensions?
Yeah. What are they?
Yeah.
Do you know them?
Well, there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
If you were to begin with the first, it'd probably be
4.
And then you go to the second. From there, you hop to the third.
Do you guys don't actually know what the 3 dimensions
It's simple
are?
math. It's 1 + 1 + 1.
It has nothing to do with
Exactly.
No. All
I
right,
didn't know
so
there was names to the dimension.
There's the physical.
they're not names. The
there's
first
physical,
dimension.
right? I don't know.
Yeah, no, the first dimension is forward and backward.
Forward and backward.
Oh,
2
okay.
left,
I would
right,
go-
and
we're
3
going
up,
that
down.
we're going that simple because
Yeah,
I
that's the
thought
3
there was like
dimensions.
We're trying to think something.
I'm
more
thinking of
creative.
like
you're overthinking that.
Yeah, definitely. I was like, yeah, obviously, because
But-
you get to a fourth and then it's time. So then I'm thinking
Exactly.
it's something more like grand.
Exactly.
The
Wiley.
third misconception is that we live in a 3-dimensional universe. We don't. It's actually 4-dimensional because time is so interwoven into everything that we do. It's actually the 4th dimension. We just can't perceive it the same way we do with the other 3.
Yeah,
And
dimensions are so difficult to understand because wouldn't like language, for example, be considered a 5th dimension because that's interwoven in everything?
It's a little different. It's how we understand and perceive the dimension. So it's an explanatory device kind of that we can use to figure out how it works. Because I
don't think time is real. I think it's just something
Time
we
is a
use to
construct.
understand.
It is. It's a construct. So I actually have an example that I found that can help to explain the whole 4th dimension kind of thing. So Pac-Man, the video game, lives in a 2D world, right? So
Waka waka.
exactly. The idea of up is completely foreign to him because he can't leave that playing surface. So we, as humans, can use a 2D map to find a point on the Earth. Then we leave that 2D flat land and go into the 3rd dimension of height. Another example can be the fact that we have an appointment in a building on a map. Okay, so you have your GPS, you plug it in, say I need to go to this address. That's 2D. You have an appointment in that building. The appointment is in a building on the map, in a floor on that building. We have the 3rd dimension, but it's also at an agreed upon time,
which is 4th dimension.
So if you don't include that, you might as well be in a completely different building because that appointment won't happen until that agreed upon time. So that's where the whole idea of space-time comes into play because time is so interwoven into everything we do. It's an actual dimension, a physical thing.
It's a good way to explain it. So that's why Interstellar is so amazing because they physically showed us what, not really, but what a 4th dimension could look like if we could see time as a physical construct. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool.
So that's my explanation of what time is. Now, to get into time travel. Do you guys know what the fastest manned vehicle in history is?
900 miles per hour.
No,
one that goes in air.
The actual vehicle itself. Do you know what it was?
I believe it was a jet, right? It was no,
A little bigger.
Was it the Helios too?
Rocket.
That's right.
Joey's got it.
Okay.
Do you know which one?
No, a good one.
A fast one.
Was it really a rocket?
The
I feel
Apollo
like-
10.
Really?
The Apollo
I was gonna
10.
say
That was
Yeah.
the fastest. I feel like there was like a.
Do you
jet
know how
that went
fast
How
it went?
fast? No, how fast?
Give a guess.
160,000 miles per hour.
Did they measure in knots?
A little less. No, it's miles per hour.
Miles per hour.
Yeah.
60,000 miles. Jace always tells me the story of when Frank was like, "Guess how fast my motorcycle can go?" And Jace was like, 300 miles per hour. And Frank's like,
It makes anything else. Yeah, it makes anything else look sad. It's so
You
disappointing.
can't overshoot the estimate.
Thanks for ruining it, Darian.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What was your guess? 160,000.
Yeah, I think it's pretty
Some
close.
insane number. No, it's not close to that. Are you insane? You would die. You'd be turned into
Light
paste
speed.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it, like 1,500?
A little higher. It's 25,000.
25. Okay.
Oh, way
25,000
off.
miles an
Sheesh.
hour.
Sheesh, it's scary.
That was its top speed. Now, do you know how fast you'd have to go to actually time travel? To travel through time?
1 million times
Faster
that.
than the speed of light, right?
So you'd have to go 2,000 times faster than that, which is pretty insane.
2,000 times
50
faster than
something
the
thousand.
rocket.
Faster than the rocket, 25,000 miles an hour.
So we're
Now-
already halfway there.
Halfway.
No, we're not.
Not even-
That's not.
All right.
We're-
Dude, that's
We're like
Oh my
1
goodness.
2,000th of the way there.
you're so,
Our accountant, everybody. He's our accountant.
oh my god, Darian
This
is an
man-
accountant for the
he
state
went to-
of Connecticut.
He went to school for business management and
Oh,
officially
wow.
works
We're
as an
halfway
accountant.
there.
And he said we're halfway there.
Wow.
Okay.
I apologize. You know what? The numbers got mixed up somewhere in my head. That's all it is.
Yeah,
What
I did. Yeah, they
So
did.
we can get there next year. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, we're so
longer.
close.
We'll take
Why
all
can't we
the
push a
Spider-Man.
little
Why is
bit?
nobody?
Push, a
Why is
little
nobody
push.
talking about this?
Gotta
So-
push a little bit.
You have to go 2,000 times faster than that, and you'd have to go at that speed for 6 years in order to
Why?
reach. Now,
Why
I'm-
6 years?
I'm going to explain it here. Yeah, it's pretty wild. So you'd need this ship that would be absolutely massive, like huge. And I'll get to why it has to be that big in a bit.
It wasn't that big
But-
in Endgame. No, I'm just kidding.
It has to be that big because of the fuel that it would take up.
Fuel consumption. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna end this little segment with how much fuel you would actually need because it's nuts. So 1 week after takeoff, because it's taking a while to ramp up, you'd reach the outer planets in our solar system, Neptune,
And Pluto.
and well, it's
not a planet.
dwarf planet thing, whatever. 2 years
is so
after
beautiful.
that, 2 years after that, you'd hit 90% of the speed of light. And at that point, you'd just start to travel through time. Every hour on that ship would be 2 hours on Earth. So you're like just barely getting into it.
So
You guys,
cool.
you guys following me
You're
so far?
doubling the hour. But
Yeah.
Aaron's like,
Yeah.
it's halfway there.
2 years.
Shut up.
2 years after takeoff. 2 years after that, so now we're at 4, it will have reached the top speed, which is 99% the speed of light. You can never go faster than light itself because it's impossible.
You would become energy.
Yeah.
See, we
You'd get into
limit
2001: A
ourselves as
Space Odyssey.
humans. Yeah. We limit ourselves to these things that we think are laws, but I feel like there's
Yeah.
got to be something, like we say you can't go faster than the speed of light. That's our human misconception.
How would you go faster than the speed of light? Light itself is your perception of time.
I don't know, but our knowledge changes. 500 years ago, it was common knowledge that the earth was flat, and that was law. That was a fact. That wasn't an opinion back then. I'm just saying 500 years from now, who knows, we don't break some of these laws that we have today.
Fair enough.
And we realize, we can get past. You know what I mean?
This is the closest we can get
You
to
make
it
a
right
good
now
point,
with
yeah.
what we know about time and how that
Yeah.
works right now. So this is it. So now we're going 99% the speed of light, top speed. 1 day on the ship. How much time do you think passes on Earth?
6 days.
A little more.
It's actually a little more, or is it
14
going to be
days.
like 20 days? And
A
be
lot
like, that's
more.
a lot
No,
more.
it's a lot more.
Yeah, okay. One
It's a
year.
year.
Yeah, okay.
A year.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. So 1 day on the ship is 1 year on Earth at top speed. So now you're like really you're booking it. And how much time do you guys think it would take at that speed, 99% the speed of light, to reach the edge of the galaxy? You won't get it. Spoiler alert.
1 million years.
There you go with the
1
overshooting.
trillion years. Oh,
Oh, it's in a human lifetime.
90
77
years.
years.
Darian said 70.
He said 77.
How much did you say, Wiley?
90. Is it in between there?
Split the difference. It's
80.
80. 80 years to reach the edge of the galaxy at that speed.
But
So-
you said we would never
80
reach
years
the edge
on
of
the
the galaxy.
ship.
On the ship.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
no, you said we would never reach the edge of space. Sorry, the galaxy. Gotcha. Yeah, all right.
So
Uh-huh.
it's technically in a human lifetime if you put a baby on the ship and just let it rip.
Yeah, there's some ethics.
An
that are
adult wouldn't
involved
really
there.
get there, but
Let's just
yeah,
put a
that's
robot.
the closest we could get. Now, how much fuel do you guys reckon it would take to get to the edge of the galaxy?
Well, I'm
Triple
surprised
that
you
of
just
what's
used the
on
word
Earth.
Reckon
What did you say?
in a
Will?
sentence.
I said triple the amount of fuel that's on Earth right now.
Actually, not that far off. It's a little less.
Double.
It would take every drop of fuel we have on Earth right now. We'd have to stop using all of our fuel right now and just focus on fueling that ship. So it's not going to happen.
Why
Yeah, no.
not?
Never.
Let's
but
get it.
this is our best bet.
Maybe
Being
with
able
Biden.
to build that. Maybe. Who knows? New regime.
Come on, man.
So that is the closest that right now we're getting to actual possible time travel.
So
That's
what?
frustrating.
So after all this, 10 minutes of talking about this, you're just letting us know we'll never see time travel in our life.
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm
So
Just
the
to break it
concept
down
of
for you
time
guys.
travel inside of a box, standing inside of a box and going
Never
back
gonna
in time,
happen.
it's
Never gonna
not a thing
100%.
because you need to travel faster than light.
Yes. That is
I want-
traveling, well, not faster than light. It's 99% the speed of light, cuz right now with our
Oh yeah.
theories and all that stuff, you can't go faster than that. You can't even
I like
hit
that
100.
face, Joey.
Now, if we could travel back,
Can't hear you.
Well, the thing. Are you speaking, Joey?
I can't hear John.
Oh, okay. He's just silent.
He like mouthed words, but he didn't say anything. That's what I was like, what?
Yeah. The theory is that we can never travel back. We can only go forward in time because you can only travel up to just under the speed of light. You can't go backwards because the science just
Yeah, what would the science
the
look like
math.
to go back in time? Yeah.
it doesn't.
Right?
Yeah.
It can't. Yeah. But
That hurts me.
that gets into some of the questions that I was going to start asking you guys. If time travel became a commercial business where like 300 years into the future, we actually got it down, you can pay in time travel, but let's say there's a 70% success rate, 30% chance that you can either die or be like horribly disfigured or maimed or something like that. You got 70%. Would you do it?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Joey?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, if it's a once in a lifetime experience, I'll take the odds.
I mean, depends on how good life is at that time. If
Right.
it's
What is
like
the rate?
Let's
perfect.
say it's
I was gonna
exactly the
say-
same as it is now.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
we have new technology and stuff like that. Obviously, we can time travel, but
go back in time.
our quality of life is the same and stuff like that. But there's a 30% chance you're never going to be able to come back, or
Yes,
There's
Screw
a
the
100% chance. There's a 100% chance in a few decades I won't be able to come back anyway. So give it to me. I'll do it. Now, I feel like there's so many problems with commercial time travel.
Oh no, I'm not getting into that because that's a whole can of worms that we won't be able to.
What if
So-
you go back and kill the person who created it or who broke the code? You
Okay,
know?
no. Well, this is in my little game that we're playing here. In this scenario, you're only an observer. It's like kind of like watching a movie.
Oh.
Like you're a third party viewer. You can't interact with anyone. or anything.
It's just to go back and see things.
You can watch. Yeah. Now,
and that's me with that.
not worth it.
Really?
That's
I could
what
just watch Interstellar.
that's what videos
Facts.
and photographs are for. I mean,
Yeah.
oh my god, I would still go. No,
maybe
100%.
maybe to see dinosaurs.
Okay, well, this
That'd
was
be
going to be my
cool.
question. Which way would you go? Would you go forward or backward?
I would go back.
I'd go forward.
You go forward, really?
I knew.
Oh
I
my
knew,
goodness.
I knew
But if
Darren
you-
would say forward. Joey,
If you
what
go
would
forward, if you go forward, wouldn't you be disappointed coming back?
Depends on what
you're
you
gonna
see.
You're gonna see. You might see stuff that you're gonna be like, oh, I'm never gonna be able to physically interact or physically touch.
Well, you
this."
know what? You could be
True.
you could be disappointed either way because you could go forward and see something amazing and be like, "Wow, I can't." Or you can
Go back in time, and dinosaurs are the size of chickens.
No. I was gonna say going forward, you could be disappointed either on how great it is or how subpar it is and
Yeah.
how like
Yeah.
Like, wow, I was
yeah.
expecting we'd cure cancer by now.
yeah, or something like
Maybe-
that. Yeah.
Maybe we see like
I
some
see your
like
point, yeah.
Terminator or Matrix world. you know?
Yeah, it's a post-apocalyptic. Well, yeah.
No, I'd still go
Which-
forward because books and movies that take place in the future interest me
Yeah.
so much because I like
I-
seeing what we can think of.
I had
I was going
absolutely
back.
zero doubt that you would choose forward, Darren. I thought Wiley would choose forward, to be honest. Joey, what was your choice?
True.
I'd want to go possibly backwards.
You were my one wild card. I wasn't sure what you were gonna pick.
Yeah, I'm literally in between because it could be either good or bad. But I know what Wiley means. Like if you go back in time, you won't be disappointed.
Mhm.
You know what's there.
You know it's there. It's just
Yeah.
me interesting.
not-
Like I would like to see what was happening.
See,
Even though I've
with
heard about
me,
You're a
because
history
all-
buff. You love history.
I'm a history buff, yeah.
Yeah.
But all of my podcasts that I listen to talk about things that, yeah, it happened in the past, but we can't explain it. So that would be my main goal. I want to go see how they
Stonehenge.
built the pyramids. I want to see what Stonehenge was all about. I want to
True.
see everything that history is confused about, like
Can't
how
explain.
or why.
Yeah.
The natural
I'm going back
occurrences
to
of the
that
ocean.
moment. Back to that moment, and I want to be an observer. I want to see, okay, what really did happen. Knowing what I know now,
I agree.
I'm going back and I'm going to debunk everything.
Yeah.
I'm coming back and be like, guys, the pyramids were a lie. Aliens came down and just threw those things on the earth and like dipped.
Told you.
They were like,
Told you.
"What up? I'm
Yeah,
out."
No,
Yeah.
I 100% that is all I'm doing. I am paying
You guys
my
kinda-
entire life salary. For
I think y'all have convinced me that going back is probably a little bit
Oh, yeah.
cooler.
Yeah, because the future is unknown. So it's like you don't know how far in the future to go. What if you went this way in the future, and then if you had went like a year later, it would have been awesome, or a year earlier, it would have been better. But if you go to the past, you
It's a known
know
quantity.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. And then we could like zoom through different eras and stuff.
Yeah. So now
That'd be cool.
my last question for you guys before we get into our whole like movie segment. You can go
yes,
forward or backward, but the catch is you have to stay there. Now you can interact. Nothing you do, you're incapable of affecting anything. You can't, like, if you go backward in time, you can't stop the JFK assassination, can't kill Hitler, none of that stuff. You
can
can
I affect
just-
personally something?
no. Your life is your life. If you do anything else, it turns into an alternate reality.
So like if pretty much you're just saying just relive exactly what happened.
Pretty much. Are you going forward?
So we
or
can only go
backward?
back to like 97?
No. You can go forward. You can go back as
Well,
far
yeah.
as you want. You can go back to the dinosaurs if you want, but you just can't affect anything. You can't change how time
Got you.
gets to where it is.
Send
now.
me back. Send me back for sure.
Where?
Where? Yeah.
Um,
Or when?
Yeah, true. That's the more
It's
appropriate question
true.
for today.
send me back to. I think I'd have to come up with a few different options, but I think ancient Greece would be pretty cool. Those people were living their best lives, super illuminated. Knowledge was power. Happiness was the thing.
Chill with
I
Plato.
think ancient Greece would be sick. Yeah,
See what happened to Atlantis.
yeah. They were focused on like, they were focused on like bettering themselves
Yeah.
and making
Humanity.
themselves happier with that kind of stuff. Yeah,
hmm
How is this?
we don't have those goals here,
Okay, never mind.
so maybe that's because of capitalism. I don't know. There's societies in the world where they focus on knowledge and making themselves happier and stuff, but
So
Greece would be
you're going
pretty
back to like 300, the year 300.
yeah,
Okay.
BC. Well, no, AD.
AD. Yeah.
Or yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. What about you guys?
That's pretty cool. I like that one. Joey?
Right.
Probably 80s or 90s.
That's exactly.
I was gonna say 80s
that's
next, bro.
exactly. I was gonna say 80s because I would love to live through the 80s and the 90s.
80s
Love
were a
to.
bop.
Yeah.
Just the retro. There's
Yeah.
no cell phones. Everybody had to go out and have a good time.
Arcades.
I want to go.
Bike rides.
Yo, yeah. 80s and 90s and maybe even like 80s, 90s in Japan. Like that was fire.
Yo,
Nah, probably
You know
not.
what? I've
never even thought
literally
about that.
never thought about the 80s in Japan. What
Or
was it
anywhere
like
else
over
for
there?
that matter.
The
Yo,
80s only
okay.
happened in the United States
Please
of
tell me
America.
Japan is
True.
crazy with the stuff that
Go
they
ahead.
make and how smart they are. Like,
Oh no, they're very innovative.
do you know?
Geniuses.
Okay.
Everyone there is a genius level intellect.
Do you know why Japanese brands are so famous and popular? Sony, Honda,
Nintendo.
Nissan,
Because they're
Nintendo,
such,
stuff like this.
Good quality, and they put the work in.
Do you know why? I saw this
Because-
today and it blew my
Because
mind. I never
if
realized.
you don't,
this.
society literally like kicks you out.
No,
and
no, no.
says
This
you're
is
not worth it.
this is like this is like a historic domino effect. Because of Pearl Harbor, right? The Japanese attacked, right? With their
Oh, they had some catching up to do.
no. They attacked with their planes. They bombed Pearl Harbor. All this kamikaze, all this nonsense, right? After this World War II and all that, U.S. and Japan made a treaty where U.S. said you could never build any sort of airplane, air travel, anything because of what you guys did to us, right? And that was part of the treaty to have peace.
Okay.
So all these people that were super smart and would technically be like in the US we have NASA, right? They would be rocket scientists. Their only choice was to go to these companies like Sony, Nintendo, Honda, Nissan, stuff like that. So that's why their quality of work is so good because it's probably being built by what would be a rocket scientist in the US.
So we don't
Maybe
need
back
jets
then.
anymore.
Interesting.
Get our rocket scientists on our video games.
Yeah, yo, it's crazy, right? Like when you think about that, like
Holy cow.
Huh.
Wow, that's nuts. How things just fall into place like that.
I know, right?
Worth it.
Well, that blew my mind. You know, it's always good to have something that blows your mind.
It
for the
was
day. That's pretty
Pearl
awesome.
Harbor was horrible. I take that back.
December
I know,
4th.
right? What a
that was
sick-
on No, December 7th, sorry, not 4th.
1941.
Wasn't it 42?
Come on, guys.
D-Day.
Wasn't it 42?
Uh,
42?
Is
No,
it 42?
Storming of-
Joe, you know.
Yeah, of course I know.
Let me see. It was December 7th, 1941.
Oh, 41,
okay.
okay.
Oh, look at
That's
you.
what we do.
Oh, yeah, because 42, yeah, that like started. Yeah, okay.
See, now with that in mind,
Yeah.
I would go not to the 40s, but the 50s and or 60s.
Nice. Where
that is my
racism was
sweet spot right
abundant. Jim Crow laws were in
100%.
their height.
I would get bricked.
Yeah, that's. I
Yeah.
wouldn't go back to the 50s just because it was a good time if you were one specific.
Demographic.
If you looked
Yeah.
very, very
Yeah.
specific way.
The 80s was good. Well, I understand there were still problems and stuff like that, but overall, the 80s was a good time.
I'll bring some makeup with me. Maybe a blonde wig.
That's whiteface. You'll get canceled. You can't do that. Okay.
No, but I would 100% just like hang out in that time. I love that.
The diners.
Just that whole time everyone walked around in suits.
You
and,
like the aesthetic.
fedoras.
You like that
It was
aesthetic,
just-
yeah. And I
it
like
is
the
on
80s
point.
and 90s aesthetic,
Feel you.
so yeah.
right? Whitewashed jeans and the colorful shirts.
So I mean, Wiley, you were born in
Overalls.
'96, so you're literally going back a few years before
I
your
was
birth.
okay, but I was born in '96, but I wasn't
grew
old
up
enough
in the
to
2000s.
comprehend
Imagine
what was
being like
happening
the age
around
you
me
are
till the
now,
2000s.
The age
yeah.
you are now, and to be able to enjoy all the things.
Yeah,
That
exactly. Yeah, I
You
was
get to
born in
enjoy the Michael
'96.
Jackson era, the Prince era, Freddie Mercury in his prime. You
And
get
I
to
get
an
to
apple.
enjoy
Apple.
Nat King Cole and
Okay,
all that. Oh,
Sinatra, I guess.
Yeah,
Sinatra.
Sinatra.
Rat Pack.
that'd be nice.
You know, that's cool and all, but the 80s is cooler.
Fruity Tooty.
Okay.
You see, malls just starting. Like the you can see the
Stranger
peak
Things?
of malls. Yeah,
Just look at Stranger Things, yeah.
yeah, Stranger Things.
The mind flayer. All right,
was a
so
cool question.
that was pretty much it for my little segment there. So now we can get into our movies. So we each brought a movie to the table that had to do with time travel, and I think we're gonna go. Well, once we get to Wiley, we'll talk about that part. But let's start with Joey, did you change yours, or is it still the same one that you
It's
said
still
yesterday?
the same one, but let's start with a good one. So
He's just a little more. Well, no, let's.
Well, let's start because then we
ramp
can.
up. Yeah.
Oh, you want to start from the bottom up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good
End it
idea.
off on a high.
Of course, you're right. So the movie I had was Project Almanac, and I'll read the synopsis for anybody who doesn't know what that movie is. So
I felt the same way when you texted us earlier today, saying that you rewatched it. Because watching it the first time, I didn't think it was that bad.
You're the one that told me to watch it, Kylie. You were like, "This is pretty good," and I was like, "All right, I'll watch it."
me too. I thought the first time I watched it was pretty good, but I watched it the second time.
Yeah, apparently the second time it doesn't hold up.
I
as
was
well.
younger. I was younger.
Yeah,
I was probably
yeah.
like what, 17 or 16. I don't remember, but maybe a little older. But
No, see, I have a thing with time travel movies where I love them and I hate them because I love them as long as, because each time travel movie, obviously it's not a real thing. So
never
each movie
accurate,
kind of, they kind of set up their own rules
Yeah.
for each movie. And each movie is different. Some movies you can't interact with things, some you can, because no matter what you do, it's not going to affect the future, all that stuff. And that's fine. I just hate it when certain time travel movies set up certain rules and then they break their own rules.
Throughout
not
the
on
entire
purpose,
movie.
not like, oh, we have to break this rule to fix this, because that's like a plot point. But when they, like, it's just sloppy writing and they do things that they literally said they weren't even able to do like 10 minutes earlier, and they're doing it throughout the movie, and you're like, well, that doesn't make sense because you just said that doesn't work because of this.
yeah,
That's
they'd be
when
like,
it loses
when
me.
we get to this room, do not touch anything, and then they're like, oh, this is really cool, and they're like moving everything like so
Yeah,
stupid, like
that's
that.
pretty much Flash.
Yeah,
But I feel like that's the tough thing with time travel movies, though. You have a big challenge ahead of you because you have to set up your own universe's rules, and then
right.
you have to set up the plot, and then you have to follow those rules and wrap it up in one movie. So, anyway, Joey, go ahead.
It's yeah. Go ahead, Joey.
So I'll quickly go through the synopsis. So the main character is named David, and he's a teenager in high school, and he's a genius who dreams of joining the MIT. So he has a crush on this girl, whatever, etc., etc. So him and his boys find an old videotape, and this is gonna go into spoiler. So they find an old video recorder, which was his dad's, and in that recorder, it's his birthday. It was David's birthday party when he was 8 years old, and he sees himself, his current self, in the mirror. And he's like, "How did I get there? Time travel, etc., etc." So they go down to Dad's basement in his work area, and they find the time machine. They make it, and they start time traveling.
I will
It's a
say,
pretty cool setup for a movie.
I will
I
say,
forgot about that.
I think one of my favorite things in that movie is like when he's talking to his friends about it, and they're like, "Is it even possible?" And he's like, "It's happened. Look, like this is proof that it is.
Yeah.
So we are gonna get it done." And I'm like, "That's pretty cool. That's true."
That kind of, see, rules like that I like, because you're like, okay, we know that it's going to happen because it already has happened.
Yep.
Yeah,
So we just have to figure out how to get there.
yeah.
The pieces are already there. We just have to put it together. That
So
kind of
where did
stuff
the
is
movie
cool.
go wrong? Because it's a cool concept.
Okay, so first time I watched it, like we said, we were younger, but when I watched it again, the acting and dialogue was absolutely atrocious. Like it was so corny
One second.
in every single which way possible, and the movie was
Very stale.
that first person perspective, with, like the like Cloverfield, where it's
The found footage
shaky
kind of
cam.
stuff.
found footage cam.
Okay.
It was like that, but Darren mentioned to me before, he was like, "Yeah, I heard there's bad reviews on the camera work," which he was right. It was pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of corny as well. When it comes to the rules in their universe and breaking rules, nothing made sense. So they tested it on a toy car first, right? Put a GoPro on it. They sent it back 2 hours. This was the only cool part. They're like, "Where's the car?" And it was infused in the wall. And they went to check the footage, and it was 2 hours ago, which of them setting up the toy car and putting on the GoPro. So the car was already there.
Oh yeah, I do remember that scene.
How did it end up
That's
in the
pretty
wall?
cool.
Because it was like a failed trial with an inanimate object.
Yeah,
Not
it
So
didn't.
not precise
It didn't
location.
drop
They
it in
teleported,
location. Yeah, they had to like fix all that stuff because they had to get the time travel part, and they also had to get like the geolocation correct of like where you travel.
Okay.
So that was the only cool part. So then
In the entire movie,
Yeah,
making a
so-
toy car time travel, that was the only cool part.
it was the only good part. So David talks to his crush, right? And he tells her about the time travel, and they're saying how, oh, the next step is to try something living. They say rats, but she goes, no, why don't we just do it? He's like, no, we can't do that. That's wrong. She goes,
facts.
No, but you saw the video. You already did it. And somehow that convinces all of them to do it. And I was like,
fair point.
Yeah, if you see that it worked because you're in that video, you'd be like, okay, sure, why not?
No, I'd be like, if it worked, that means I'm sure we're smart enough to have tried multiple living things.
Or he can be like, if I'm
the first trial.
Yeah, in his head, he's probably thinking, if I'm in it, that means I'm the one that should test it because obviously it can't happen unless I do it. So
I can't die because I'm.
I can't die because I'm.
I get what
there.
you mean.
Yeah.
Now that's one of the things that can get tricky with time travel when they do stuff like that. But then but you could still like lose an arm or something like that, even though that hasn't happened yet. Because then it's messing with all the different. Then it turns into like alternate realities almost in my mind. Yeah.
Which is what happened in this movie, correct? Like they would do something and it would change world events and stuff like that. Yeah.
Which was it kind of seemed. Yeah, that's what they pretty much did. Because, for example, one of his friends, his teacher did a pop quiz. For example, he's like, name the first 10 elements of the periodic table. He didn't know it. He failed, so they went back in time, and he would try again. And he would name all the periodic elements, and then his teacher would give him another question. He was like, "What?" Went back in time, and so
stay for the whole test. Why didn't you just stay for
well,
the whole test?
Because until he passed
all the questions.
Until he passed that one part, the next part wouldn't.
Yeah.
He time traveled like 13 times.
Yeah, so he time traveled 13 times, and they were all different realities. Like they didn't see, their previous selves time travel. It was all different realities. So every single time he time traveled, it was a different outcome of what was happening. That's okay. I don't really like it, but
now without spoiling it, was the ending good? Wait, hold on. What was the actual premise to the movie? What were they fighting against?
Discover time travel.
So he got into MIT, but he didn't get a scholarship. So when they accidentally found the time machine, he was like, "Oh my goodness, this could probably change our lives." But they were being teenagers and wanted to have fun. Yeah, they wanted to have fun instead.
He used it more for personal, like to see his father again.
That's cool.
Before we get there, he does use it for personal gain, just to get
with the girl.
Yeah, he has a crush on.
Typical teenager.
And this would be spoiling whatever.
Mm-hmm.
In doing so, he's causing the butterfly effect happens.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets the girl. I forgot what happens, but the captain of the basketball team gets hit by a car. He gets hit by a car. His dad's a pilot who doesn't get to go to the game, who instead takes an airplane, which crashes and kills a whole bunch of people. And so everyone's like, "Oh my goodness, we did this." But he's like, "No, I actually did this." So he keeps going back in time to fix everything. He keeps messing up. So that's when he goes all the way back to his father. And that's where he ends up in the birthday party.
Yeah. It goes full circle.
Okay, so that's cool.
He tells his dad, he goes, "You can't do this. It doesn't work. It keeps messing up." And that's why his dad didn't say anything about the time travel machine. He locked it away.
And then...
So it's always a circle.
One part about it is like it's a very ambiguous ending. So that's what I was going to get to, Joey. So pretty much throughout this entire movie, they're recording everything that they're doing. So like at the end, they destroy like all the stuff and all this, but somehow the camera survives and it goes back to like the beginning of the movie where he's like rummaging through the attic or the basement and he finds that camera and he sees everything that they did. So then it kind of goes full circle and then it's going to start the whole process over again.
I'll say something cool. When they see their past selves, they start freaking out. They start glitching out. So like his boy was drawing on his own neck while sleeping, and he woke up and they were like, "What?" And he started glitching out.
Started like
and you see his crush do the same thing, and she gets wiped out of existence.
Sounds like a cool concept, but not executed the best.
No, because the ending.
You never watched it, Darren?
No,
maybe when it first came out, but I'm not. Yeah.
So the ending, he has his dad's camera. It's pointing at him. He burns the time machine. He glitches out of existence because he destroyed it. But that camera survives, and another old camera survives. So an alternate reality, but for some reason the camera
is still there.
It's
It's like a plot hole.
Cameras.
Yeah, it's weird.
There's two.
It doesn't
cameras.
make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
That's them trying to leave like a cool ending and hoping people would be like, "Whoa," but not realizing.
Since he knows everything, he goes up to his crush and goes, "Listen, we're gonna change the world," and so that means he's gonna make the time machine again. So nothing changes. It's a dumb movie. Whack. Don't watch it. It's not worth it.
So you just beat your movie to death.
I will say,
I chose this movie. Don't watch it. It's horrible.
I will say
There's so many
that's why we started
potholes.
from the bottom.
it was a good time. I enjoyed the movie watching it the first run through.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
If
It's
you
not a
watch it
perfect
without
movie.
looking at
No.
every single plot hole and
Yeah.
stuff like that. The second time when you're like after the whole like big reveal and stuff like
It's
that.
because
you're
now
like,
I'm used to us reviewing movies, and now watching
You have
some
the critic's eye.
high tier movies when it comes to time travel. And I'm watching this, I'm like, wow, this is actually disappointing.
okay. Yeah.
But if, like Wiley said, if you want to have a good time, watch it.
Yeah,
Just don't start off.
it's
with
not
it.
a perfect movie by all means, but
All right, so
by any means.
figure I'm gonna go next because Wiley is the best one.
Yeah.
I chose a few movies because
What?
all mine are mid tier. None of them are. Well, actually, okay, one of them is pretty good. We'll
You
use that
know,
one.
if
leave
you
the
you know,
Wiley's.
I was gonna choose yours if you didn't choose it.
Really, did I tell you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
actually,
You changed it.
Oh my god.
Is that-
I
is that
was
what we're-
planning on doing Arrival, which
Okay.
is one of my favorite sci-fi movies ever, top 3.
Amazing.
I really, if you guys haven't seen that movie, and I know there's people listening that haven't seen it, I don't want to ruin anything for you for that movie. I think if I tell you what it's about or anything, it'll ruin it for you. So I really don't even want to talk about it. Just know it's one of the best.
Just the
movies ever.
fact that you've mentioned it in this episode
Yeah.
gives like a hint.
Should give you a hint.
Yeah.
But we're gonna
Yeah.
move on because I really
Yeah.
want these guys to watch this movie. One of the ones I chose was Deja Vu with Denzel Washington and Paul Patton.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep,
Wow.
a low key movie.
I watched that again.
Bro, I
and
haven't-
it's still been.
shoot,
it was
I
like
have-
maybe a year or two ago that I saw it again, but it was not at all what I remembered watching it the first time. And watching it the second, I was like, "This." I felt like it was honestly better watching it the second time. You're like,
Listen,
I need to
Holy
watch
cow,
it again. I
there's
have not
so
seen that for
much.
years. I don't even remember
was-
what it's about.
was
If I'm gonna
crap.
be honest with you,
Okay, so I won't go into like super heavy spoilers or anything like that, but it's
You
always
can.
on TV
you can, but
because you've seen it.
I have.
Joey,
yeah,
you seen
just,
it?
"You haven't seen it?"
It's
I know.
it's a
really good.
really
It's really good.
it's a really cool movie. Let me read you guys the synopsis. After a ferry is bombed in New Orleans, an ATF agent joins a unique investigation using experimental surveillance technology to find the bomber, but
Denzel
soon
Washington.
finds himself becoming obsessed with one of the victims. So basically, he finds this group of people that have created a device that allows you to see back in time. And they
That's
use
right.
that to try to find this bomber of a ferry that killed a crazy amount of people. As they get further into it, though, he asks if they could send things back in time, and then he himself goes back in time. But it's all like really based, and I'm sure there are some, but I didn't really notice any big plot holes with the time travel.
No, I don't think it was. And again, this was a big budget movie. Project Almanac was like it wasn't a big budget movie.
Yeah,
so
by all
that goes
means.
to show
This had
what
Denzel, who at the time
Yeah.
was like,
yeah,
you know,
that goes to show what
top.
production actually does to help you out.
Yep.
Wasn't one of the scientists Eddie, the crazy roommate from Friends, Chandler's crazy roommate?
It might have been.
I feel like he was one of the dudes who was helping him
He was in
set up the machine.
He was in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days too, right? Or whatever.
He's
I don't
Saving
remember.
Private Ryan.
That's right.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll look it
he's-
up right now. But continue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so-
regardless, though,
sorry, go ahead.
if you haven't seen that movie, it's a really, really cool,
Oh wow, this was 2006.
realistic way of doing time travel. It feels very real. It feels like this could be possible, and that's what I love the most about it.
Interesting.
Yeah, Arrival is more sci-fi on the side where it's like doesn't feel like real, but
It catches you
it's
off guard
amazing.
though. It's
Yeah,
so
it's
good.
amazing.
It's so good. Oh my god.
The ending
love
in Arrival
Arrival.
is one of the best payoffs I've ever felt in a movie.
It's like Nolan class right there.
It was
Yeah.
so
It
out of
was
left field. By the
so-
way,
oh.
Kyler, he was the guy from Friends. But anyway,
Okay.
Oh, you're
There you
muted, Kyler.
Yeah.
so there you go.
So definitely watch that movie. That was just the first one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do
Joey,
you
check
have-
that out. It's a really cool movie.
Do you have any other ones that you wanted to touch on real quick?
I do. The next one would be Edge of Tomorrow, which actually I'm going to go last, but regardless, I love Edge of Tomorrow. That movie
I always
is
remember
so,
that one scene.
It's
Rolls
so
under.
good. The scene where Tom Cruise
That's
runs under the
push-up.
car
Yeah.
and he screams.
I saw that
Listen.
with Kyler, and I think we like audibly laughed out loud in the theater
Yeah.
when that
You
happened.
can't not.
Yeah,
You
that was
can't not.
hilarious.
He just gets
It's
run
so
over
funny.
by a truck. You're like,
It's basically like something happens to him, and every time he dies after this point, he wakes up at that point, and he uses that to inch forward into figuring out what caused him to wake up at this point.
He has to keep
And it's
surviving
like,
longer
what's
and
it
longer.
called?
Groundhog.
Trial and error.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the whole premise of the movie, pretty much.
Yeah, it's Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt, a few more big name actors, but they're like the main people.
Hmm.
Really awesome action movie and sci-fi mix.
That was in my
And then
low
the
key.
time
It
travel
got
is-
like horrible reviews, I think.
Well, we talked about this because of the marketing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it-
just entertaining. You can't go into it thinking that you're gonna be like moved spiritually by watching this movie.
No,
It's
it got
it's
really
just
good
fun
reviews.
to watch. Oh, it did?
It got
Yeah,
good
both
removes.
the critic score and audience score.
It did bad in the
Oh,
box office because Darian
box
mentioned this
office.
because they
Because
didn't
the
market it
marketing was
correctly.
garbage.
Right? Yeah.
And I remember the marketing. I remember seeing the commercials and I was like, this is kind of weird. And then when you see the movie, you're like, wow, that was a really
Not
good
what I
time.
expected.
It was just
Yeah.
like live, die, repeat, live, die, repeat. I'm like, yeah, but what's this? What's
I
this
don't
about?
understand what
Like,
you mean by that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That has no context.
It's very sci-fi. So once you get to like the third act of the movie and things start getting wild, it's really cool.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
last movie that I wanted to mention, which is going to catch all you guys out of left field, is Click with Adam Sandler
No.
and Christopher
no.
Walken.
We're not.
Oh, you don't like Click?
Darian, stop. Stop talking. We're not talking about Click because that movie has one of the worst. It has one of the most ridiculous cop-out endings of any movie ever. So we're not.
Fair enough. But it's
No.
one of Adam
I
Sandler's
love Click.
You like
best.
Click?
I love
Yo,
Click.
I love
Oh
Click.
my
Click
god.
is one of those
you guys are
movies-
insane.
Click is one of those movies we
hated
talked
that
about this.
movie.
That movie gives me that ball in the throat every time.
Yes.
every
What?
single time.
The emotional
What?
scenes
Yes.
in that movie
Yes.
hit, bro.
Kyler,
They hit.
Go back
Insane.
and rewatch that movie and
You
really
are
analyze
insane.
it. That
You are
movie.
mentally deranged.
Darian.
Stuff, man.
Joey,
Gets me
what
mad.
is your view
The
on
movie-
Click?
Honestly,
Probably hasn't
when it
seen
comes
it.
to
Hasn't seen it.
time travel movies, that's not one that I would put on my list. I wouldn't even
Fair
think
enough.
of that.
No,
in
no,
a
no, no.
movie.
Not, I'm not even talking about time travel. I
But
just
the
think it's a
movie-
garbage movie in general.
It's not.
I don't think it's a garbage movie. I don't think it's like high up there.
Okay,
I
so
think it's
maybe
like a
I'm just
movie I'd
crazy.
enjoy.
I think
Movie
that
I
was
enjoy,
one
yeah.
of his worst movies, hands down.
Click
my
is
opinion.
so good.
You're
Click is
sniffing the hard.
so
Isn't
Why
Jack
don't
and
we
Jill
say
the
right
one? Jack and Jill wasn't that? Is that
Jack and
There's
Jill is one
so
of the worst
many-
rated movies of all time.
That's the
There's
worst one
so
done.
many worse Adam Sandler movies, but Click is one of his best.
Click?
I hated that movie.
In
with
my
a
opinion,
burning passion.
Click
Yes,
Is-
Darian.
top-
Yes.
top-
Uh-huh. Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yep.
I,
Yep.
I love.
D.
I agree.
Call Raj. Go call Raj.
Oh, he's gone. Like we shocked.
Oh,
him.
he's just
he's gone.
He's out of
He
here.
gone.
He's
Uh,
But-
He's back, ladies and
I'm back.
gentlemen.
Okay.
I got this crackhead Wi-Fi. Xfinity is day by day doing more stuff to my yard to fix it, but it's so annoying. Anyway,
Oh shoot.
listen, I don't like Adam Sandler's movies. I think they're 95% of them are trash. I like Grown Ups. I love Click.
I love Grown Ups. Grown Ups is such a feel good movie.
I
like
just
Big
like
Daddy.
so fun.
It is.
Grown
I hear
Ups
Big
is
Daddy's good too. I've never seen it.
I love
Billy
Big
You never
Daddy.
seen Big Daddy? Big Daddy's amazing.
Billy Madison.
Yeah, there's another one that I heard is like really, really good.
Waterboy.
I don't know what it is, though. No, it's
Um,
like an emotional one with a woman. I mean, that's like all of his movies.
50
I'm
First
sorry.
Dates.
50 First Dates.
Might
Drew
be 50
Barrymore.
First
Drew
Dates.
First Dates is
Barrymore.
pretty.
That's a good
it's not
movie.
bad.
Might be. But regardless, I don't know.
Uncut.
That's kind of
Click
time
again.
travel when she gets to the end and she wakes up thinking it's one
It's
day.
time
and
travel in her
she
head,
has like
yeah.
children.
True.
In a really messed up way. It's kind of time traveling.
Yeah.
Okay. Before you talk trash about Click again, though, watch it again.
I agree with.
It's not
I
a
agree with Aaron.
groundbreaking movie by any means,
The
It's a
ending.
good movie. It's a good movie.
but there's some emotional scenes that hit in that movie.
Yeah.
When
And it's
I'll
funny
give it another
too.
shot.
bro, when his dad is trying to do the trick with the quarter,
Dude,
Yep.
that's so
and when he's
sad.
old,
Yep.
oh
Yep.
my god, it breaks my heart every single
It's-
time.
Who played
Every
his dad in
single.
that one?
I don't even remember.
I don't know. But Christopher Walken was in the movie. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
It's like Adam Sandler. Come on over. You gotta do the
His
thing.
name in the movie was Adam Sandler.
Oh, it was Henry Winkler was his dad.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. I'm not a Henry Winkler fan either. I think he's got.
I can't put a name. I know the
Henry Winkler, the Fonz.
Oh, the Fonz.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. Okay. Thank you for that. Sorry.
How does it feel to like be one of the coolest characters in the '60s and now be like that old and stuff? I don't know. It's got to be like kind of
disappointing.
Yeah, he's still a cool dude. I just mean like
his mom was Marge from The Simpsons.
Really?
I didn't know she did live action acting.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
I thought she was just Marge.
And Jonah Hill was the.
Jonah Hill's in there?
Yeah, he's Ben, his son, when he's 17 years old.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, Darren's reaction to that was perfect.
I forgot, dude. You're right.
Oh, shoot. Wait, so he was like super young in that movie then?
Yeah, he was a kid. He was like a teenager.
How old is Jonah Hill?
Jonah Hill would be
like right now. I thought he was like
late 30s.
Yeah. That's it?
So he must have been like what, 20?
He was born in 83, December 20th, 83.
83.
So he was 23 when the movie.
Yeah.
Probably like 22 when
Holy
it was
cow.
produced.
Wow. I thought he was older. I don't know why.
I mean, the movie was 2006. So.
Click was in 2006?
Yeah.
How time flies.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. Dude, I saw this clip of Jimmy Kimmel interviewing Jonah Hill, and the first thing he says to him when he sits down is like, Jonah, I gotta tell you, you smell good, contrary to what you look like you might smell like. Dude, what kind of a thing is that to say to open up an interview, bro?
Oh my God. What was his reaction to that?
Jonah's like, wow, it's kind of rude. It's a rude way to open up an interview. He was like offended.
I'm a douchebag, Kimmy.
I would be too. How you say something like that?
God.
Like you look like you'd smell like a horse, but you smell like, Jean-Paul Gaultier. Like,
I've heard Post Malone like stinks.
oh, I'm sure
Like,
he does.
He looks
bro.
like he smells like a
cigarettes.
dumpster.
Yeah. Like I'm all for.
When you
Post
have
Malone
tattoos on
slander.
your face and you just you're not.
He smokes like what 3.5 packs a day. Like he drinks Bud Light nonstop. That dude has to smell like a grandmother in the 50s. Like I have no doubt. But anyway, enough Post Malone slander.
where did we get off?
We got
How
so.
did this get here?
All right, I say we
the
move
best
to Tenet
tangent.
now.
No, I
no,
love that tangent.
Kyler has his movie.
Oh shoot, I forgot. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so no, I was going to talk about Endgame, which isn't technically
Avengers
a
Endgame.
time travel movie, but time travel is obviously a huge part of the plot. But my thing with it was I liked how, and it works in Marvel because obviously they have the multiverse and stuff like that, so that's already an established thing,
and it's already
and it's
super
established
fake,
in the comics
so.
and stuff. Yeah, it's a superhero movie. I mean, you have like gods and all that stuff. But I liked the idea that whatever they did, they're allowed to do whatever they want. You can interact with your alternate self, your past self, or whatever like that, and anything that happens you'll continue forward, but it can just branch off into parallel universes, alternate realities. Because as much of a fan I am of time travel, I also love like the whole parallel universe thing. That's just so cool. It's such an awesome idea for me.
I love
so
how
I like
Hulk
that they also
explains it,
introduced
too.
that. Yeah, he did a really good job, and I wish I should have prepared that part a little more too.
He's like, because your
he
past
explained
becomes your
it.
present, and your present becomes your future, and your future becomes like it's. I like the way it was crazy. Yeah.
They did a very good job writing, and you know what? I remember watching a YouTube video after the movie, and they were explaining like there are some minor plot holes in the movie, but that's not
Obviously.
the point of the movie. It's not a time travel movie. You have to put certain things aside and understand that what they did was really good.
And
regardless,
the fact that they were able to pull it off so well without even being a time travel movie, that's impressive. Like they had an entire other plot that they were like working towards.
Yeah,
in the middle of working towards that, they had time travel just off to the side. That's pretty good.
I think we can do an episode on our best movie experiences, like in-person movie experiences. Obviously, Endgame would be number one.
Arrival, Endgame.
I was gonna say
all
Arrival.
the Nolan movies.
I'm mentioning them. We can definitely do that.
Yeah. Anything Nolan.
I will. Spoiler alert: Arrival is probably like because we were together, we were all together, and none of us saw this.
Arrival
we were like
literally break your mind. It
Yeah.
will snap your brain just a little bit, and you're like, "What?"
Like
I heard all our brains.
Oh,
yeah.
What?
I remember I brought my parents to see it, and my mom goes, when the scenes happen, when everything starts clicking, and I was like flipping out again. My mom leans over and she's like, "Was that it? Because I don't think your dad's gonna be too happy that was it." And I was like, really? Like that was maybe the best experience you've ever had. Like I'm telling you, that was the best experience you've ever had in the theater.
You don't know it, but I'm telling you that's what it was.
Yeah, you better be happy because that ending paid off everything. There's
Right,
no
for
underwhelming.
Someone didn't
Literally-
like it.
There's literally one scene where she goes, "I don't understand these dreams," and then she says one more line, and then you're like,
bro,
wait.
what?
And then
hold
it
off right there.
clicks, and then it clicks, and everything is just.
I
amazing.
listened to the Mr. Fruit Dream Team podcast, the GG Over Easy, and Blue Westlow was saying that there's like a tradition in his family that they usually just all sit down and just watch movies during Christmas. But like not Christmas movies, just like regular movies.
Yeah.
And he was like, at one time they put on Arrival because like a bunch of them hadn't seen it, and he was like, that is literally every Christmas I have to watch that movie now. If I don't watch it, it's not Christmas. And I was like, he was like, that's such a good movie, and I'm like, yeah, it is. It is a good movie.
It's so underrated. I feel like it doesn't get enough praise.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That movie was absolutely
because
phenomenal.
Because if you really like market the movie that it is, it kind of ruins the movie that it is.
No, that
so
makes
it's
sense.
like,
That makes sense.
That's why it's tough. And
yeah.
going back to Endgame, they had the same thing. The trailers for Endgame showed
Vague.
nothing
It was vague,
from the plot from that movie. All we knew was they would see Thanos again. We knew that there would be some type of, Fat Thor and all this stuff. Or no, Fat Thor was a surprise. I'm sorry.
That was a surprise
That
too.
was a surprise.
Yeah. Everything we knew from the trailers was from the first 15 minutes of the movie. Thanos is dead.
Yeah.
And then I remember it said 5 years later, and we were like,
What?
in the theater, the
Yeah.
whole theater was like, what?
Yeah.
And we were like, we have 2 hours more of like uncharted territory. We don't know what we're about to see. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
See, I wanna find. I don't know if it even exists, but take movies like that, like Endgame or Arrival, where there are these crazy things, and I want to see if there's a way. Are there videos that exist that show like the reaction of crowds? I don't want individual people like watching it. I want like
The full
a crowd reaction.
Audience reaction.
Yeah,
There is, because apparently
audio.
movie theaters always record
like events like that, like big ones.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Premieres.
Like,
So
actually seeing people.
on TikTok, every now and then I'll come across one of these videos, and it's like Endgame opening night, where someone was recording the reaction to like Cap catching the hammer, and we remember the
yeah, I mean, you
electricity.
get-
That's
that
what
went
he's
through the
saying.
theater.
That's what he's
No.
saying. He doesn't want to see that. He wants to see like the whole audience from
I
like,
want to
their
see
faces.
like watch their face, like their facial reactions, because you can get someone like recording on
That'd
their
be
phone, and
amazing.
you get the sound like everyone cheering and stuff like that. That's awesome too. But I
I
want to
get
see
goosebumps
like
every time. So.
yeah, like
Yeah.
when they show the whole thing about Arrival. I don't want to keep harping on Arrival, but when they have that scene, people's like individual like watching them get to the point where they understand it. That like
I wish
period
we
of
could just-
confusion. I want to see that.
I wish we could see our reaction, because
Yes.
literally, like what Darian
Yes.
said, our reaction was literally like we threw our hands out and we looked
were
at
like,
each
wait,
other like,
wait.
is this happening
Yeah.
right now? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That came out. When did that movie come out? What year?
2016? Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that was right after we all like graduated, and that was like
Yeah.
the span of like what 2-3 years where we would go to the movies like at least once a week to watch something.
For every single opening premiere.
every-
No matter
movie-
what
every
the movie
Thursday.
was, no matter what
Yeah,
the movie
it was
was,
there, yeah.
we were there.
It was just an excuse to go to J. Timothy's, eat
Thursday
some
or
awesome
Friday,
wings,
right
and watch a
after
good
work.
movie.
It
Yeah.
started with Hibachi too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, okay, we're going on a huge tangent. This is gonna be like 3
We gotta-
hours long.
back to Endgame. Yeah.
Yeah, back to Endgame.
Okay.
We'll say
So,
that.
well, yeah, that was pretty much all I had to say. Everyone's seen Endgame. That's
Yeah, I like how they use like the quantum realm and they kind of
Mm-hmm.
travel through tunnels to get there, and they branched off, and you can see like those different paths. That's pretty cool. I don't know if you
Obviously,
noticed.
it sets up a lot for the future.
I don't know if you noticed, like on the way back, there was like different branches in the quantum realm after they did all those events in New York, and they went back in time. That was a pretty cool little detail. So I like that.
Because in doing that, they also set up a lot of things for Disney's new projects, like when they lost the Tesseract. Now
it's Loki. Yeah,
Now he's out and about and doing his thing instead
Mm-hmm.
of being dead at, what was it? Where did he die? Oh, he died in Infinity
On the
War, right?
ship.
Infinity War.
Yeah, Thanos killed him.
Yeah,
So that was the end of Loki,
As far as we know.
but now they were able to bring him back.
yeah.
So it sets up a lot of stuff too, which is cool. Everyone
Yeah.
loves more Marvel. All right,
Let's get to the spicy meatball.
last one.
Let's get to the grand event. Drum roll, please. My movie, which I've discussed before, but we'll discuss. We're heading into spoiler territory here because we've all seen it. It's been out for a while. It got digitally released. We're headed into Tenet, ladies and gentlemen. Tenet is such an amazing movie, and I don't know if I would call it time travel. It's more of like time inversion.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
that's
Here we
fair.
go.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Although
Let's
he
go.
does
Bring the headache.
travel, but it's more of it's so pretty much
It's
falls
physically
under the category.
walking. It's
It
walking
is.
through time.
it's walking through time pretty much. Yeah, it's
Backwards.
like backwards. Yeah.
Oh god, it's so good.
That movie.
Watching a Christopher Nolan movie is like putting on an old sweater, and you just you feel comfortable, and you're
And
just
you
like
feel
you're
loved.
in for it. Yes, and you're just like, this feels right. This feels good, and I want to enjoy this. Oh,
So I'm gonna let Wiley go before I give my opinions on the movie.
Yeah. I'll give
That
you.
sounds
I'll
ominous.
give you a quick synopsis.
uh-oh.
Yeah, I'll give you a quick.
Is this
synopsis
Toy
of
Story
it.
3 round 2? do I have to put my boxing gloves on?
So like the main plot point of the movie is a secret agent who literally they never give a name in the movie. He's literally, if you look him up in the cast, it's called the protagonist. He's just the main character.
Awesome.
I love that because that's not the point of the movie. No one cares what his name is. They care about what the mission is. So secret agent, the protagonist, is given a single word, Tenet, and a gesture. They go like this. To
That works really well for our audio listeners.
Oh yeah, they cross their hands, their fingers together. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize to our audio listeners. Yeah, kind of like just folding your hands together. He's sent to prevent the onset of World War III. He must travel through time, travel through time, and bend the laws of nature in order to successfully complete his mission. So, when I say travel through time, pretty much imagine two doorways. You go through one on one side of say a wall, and when you go through that doorway, you end up on the other side of the wall. So it's not like you're kind of like transferring positions, and you literally you're moving forward, but time is moving backward.
So you're from that moment, things are going in reverse.
In
for
reverse,
you.
yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I love how they explain it. Because of this, everything in you works differently. Your lungs work differently. It can't process the air because you would be inhaling CO2 and exhaling the oxygen. So you have to wear a suit to breathe. Fire turns into ice. Ice turns into fire. Like it's insane the way they explain it.
All right. So
That car fire when he started freezing.
Yeah,
that's
like
pretty
That was so cool. Oh man. Okay.
So on first watch,
Oh boy.
the movie for me was a 7 out of 10. On second watch,
Really?
I bumped it up to an 8 out of 10. But the problems still stand that I have with the movie. I think it's not very accessible. I think
in terms of
all of Christopher Nolan's movies are either complicated or very a lot of them are complicated. But by the end of the movie,
you understand.
you
it.
leave that theater knowing what happened, understanding it, and being like, wow, that was crazy. Even in Inception, which was more complicated than Interstellar, you left Inception being like, wow, that was wild. But you know what happened. You understand the dream sequences. It was explained thoroughly. There's nothing even in Interstellar, they explain the 4-dimensional tesseract and all that stuff. It might be confusing when you see it, but after 5 minutes, you understand. Tenet really struggled to do that effectively, even with a 2.5 hour time block. I feel like the first half of the movie was all over the place. I don't think it was executed very well.
So
I like the movie. I love the movie, but
I understand.
Fair enough.
I understand where you're coming from. So pretty much, the first half of the movie is everything that's going to be explained later is already happening, which is a different formula from most movies where like the big things get set into motion, and then like Interstellar, is they start off simply on Earth, they work their way up, then they go to space, they go to these different planets, and then it starts picking up, and then more and more stuff start happening. Tenet is like all this stuff is already happening, but nobody knows it.
You have to use the story to
until
explain
you get to the second half.
Happened.
Until you get to the second half, and then you realize, wow, since the beginning, it's been happening, and we had no idea. And then, so it's like there's no ramp up in terms of like the story. So I understand. It's like a little like, So
you absolutely have to watch Tenet more than once.
You're being dropped into a timeline that's reoccurring.
Already happening. Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. Which is why my score bumped up on the second viewing, because I was like, oh, this first half makes...
You understood it.
Exactly. I was like, every scene in that first half, I was like, this is why he's doing it. This is why he's doing it. But that's my big problem with the movie, because I'm not a fan.
First-time viewer.
Yeah, I think you should be able to see a movie and judge it based on that viewing and be like, wow, that was, this was amazing or this was trash on that first viewing, and understand it. I think it's a fault of the director or the writer if you can't understand it on the first viewing.
Now,
but I still enjoyed it more on the second view.
With Nolan, I feel like that applies for it applies pretty much to all directors, but I feel like Nolan kind of takes the written rule book and just kind of says, it's okay. Because he likes to mess with stuff a lot. He likes to be really creative with his projects, and he has something in his head, and he's going to put it out there. And if you like it, awesome. If not, watch something else.
Which I can appreciate. Yeah. I know I like that Nolan does that and doesn't always go by the rules.
So I think that's this. I think he went a little further out than he usually does. Like you said, Inception, Interstellar, all of his movies and stuff. You can follow it. It might be a little tough to follow, but you can get there without much effort. This one, he kind of pushed the boundaries just a little more, and said, okay, you should, by the end of the movie, know what's going on. You might not completely understand it. You should probably watch this one again.
Yeah. I think after the first viewing, I had to.
I sat for like an hour or two reading stuff, explaining.
And I told Darren, I'm like, Darren, let's watch it again. Just trust me, watch it again. Watch it again. You understand it.
Yeah. And I get that, but my problem is like after the first viewing, like I've already stated, after the first viewing, having to go and look up 3, 4, 5 different articles and YouTube videos to explain what I just watched is frustrating on one hand, but also fun on the other, because it is kind of cool to see that a movie can, out of the theater, still affect you.
Yeah.
So I get, that's why I bumped it up to an 8.
Yeah, I'm between 8 and 9. I think one of my biggest issues with this movie is I mean I like the story. Now that I understand it, after understanding it, it's a great story. The way they use the time travel or time inversion, I absolutely love that. And the problem with understanding it first view, like you say, Darren, is also there is a lot of dialogue, and they do explain a lot of things, but you miss a lot of it because they either have masks on and you can't really hear it.
The sound quality was not very good.
Which was like the music would drown out the dialogue, which it's a double-edged sword because it's Ludwig, and Ludwig killed it. He killed it with the sound design.
They just needed to tone it down a little bit.
But it was like the sound was kind of like a main character, and it kind of like drowned out.
But
some of
when the dialogue is explaining some of the most important parts of the movie,
you need to turn
when
that
it's at key
volume
points
down
where you have to understand. I hate subtitles. I can't stand subtitles in movies.
I love them.
I hate watching movies.
Yeah.
I like them.
I feel like it takes away from the movie. I don't like being pulled out of the experience. I like being completely immersed and being put in that world. If I have subtitles, it kills it for me.
You have to like concentrate on the reading, and then you're like going back.
But even if I'm not concentrating, even if it's at the bottom, it's distracting.
Like an eyesore for you.
Yeah.
I get that if you're a pansy, but
this movie 100% I would recommend watching it at home with subtitles, because those key points where they're explaining things, you might not get it with the music playing, and again, you have to be able to hear and understand what they're saying, because they're explaining really, really important things for that universe, for the movie, and being able to read it will definitely help you appreciate the movie more.
Yeah, and the conversations are a lot more realistic in terms of how a normal conversation would be day to day in real life. So like in movie conversations, most of the time they'll slow it down. They'll use pauses for you to be able to understand what the heck that he just said. This movie, like the scene with Michael Caine when they're eating lunch, it was just like rapid fire saying you could barely understand Michael Caine because he was eating and his accent. You could barely understand anything. So it was like, if you miss certain things,
there's these scenes are so amazing, like the opera scene in the beginning, but it would hit so much harder if we knew what in the world was going on in that scene. We're just thrown into it, makes no sense. It's just cool action, and then we're in a train yard, no idea what's happening. Cyanide pill, okay. Windmill, we're inside of a windmill. All right, I don't know what's going on there. Picked up. Now we're in a lab explaining reverse bullets. That's how that whole first half of the movie went.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of frustrating on first watch.
But then it goes full circle and then you understand it. But yeah.
And there's literally one scene in the middle of the movie that explains everything. And while I love that feeling you get when you're like, oh my God, I understand it now, it also is, it's kind of like why they said a double-edged sword, because while you get that feeling,
it's a little bittersweet.
Yeah, but it's also because you're trying to rethink everything that you've just watched. And you're like, how does this affect that? And like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
And then you miss stuff happening in real time.
You have to focus.
While you're thinking about that, they're still explaining things that are very important, and you're not focused on what they're saying. And it's not even like you're taking it in because the music is loud. So it's something that it's like Darian said, you should be able to just go in and understand and walk out and be satisfied and stuff like that. This one, you're not going to get that with this. If that's what you're into when you go to movies, you're probably not going to be a big fan of Tenet. But if you feel like putting in the work and maybe blocking out a whole afternoon and maybe a little bit of the evening to watch it twice back to back, that is another option. You definitely have to put in the time to watch it, though. And
look up YouTube videos and articles explaining. The second time I watched it, there was an article I found that walked through every scene and what was happening and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, this is much better now that I understand why we're here and what's happening and stuff like that. So that's why it falls at an 8 for me, because you have like Interstellar and Inception at 10s and The Dark Knight. And then at 9s, you have, these are Nolan movies. At 9, you have like The Prestige. That to me is a 9, so close to perfection. Another one which is super trippy, but by the end you're like, wow, that was amazing, but you know what happened. And then this one is like an 8, and Memento kind of falls in this spot too, where it's like 7, 8. It was okay.
I will say
Memento, I would give that one like a 7.
Yeah, I'm between 8 or 9 for Tenet. In terms of time travel though, the way they did it, I think they executed it flawlessly. Like
10. Yeah.
10 out of 10 in terms of time travel, which is the main focus. Which is the main focus of this episode right now.
True.
Time travel. True.
So everyone gives it a 10. We can move forward.
Yeah. Definitely S tier. It's not like
100%.
Story 3.
100% S. Shut up. I agreed with you until that last point.
Man, even Joseph agreed with me.
Well, Joseph's a pleb. No one cares about Joseph. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Edit that mess out.
No, I want him to look me in the eye.
All right. Well.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I had to say about that.
Cool. So I think that's pretty much it for our episode. Then we unpacked a lot.
We're running
every time. We're like, it's going to be a shorter. It's not going to.
It gets longer every time.
We're here for 2 hours because
it's an hour.
Click.
It's an hour and 53 minutes.
About Jonah Hill and his breath. And
Post Malone definitely smells really, really bad.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, he smells rancid. I just know it.
Okay.
Thank you to all our Castbox viewers. And
yeah, my dad got a real kick out of that one. He came up to me. I think it was Tuesday while I was working. I work on the opposite side of the plant as he does, and he made his way all the way over to me and be like, I just listened to the podcast. What's up?
Did you accept my apology? I apologize.
Yeah.
It was kind of backhanded because I did say like raggedy. I used raggedy.
He said raggedy third-party website.
Third-party platform.
I did.
It's like I don't understand what all the cast box hate is for.
All right.
It's just a running joke. That's all it is.
Yeah, you know, I'm not getting into it.
Yeah. There you go, Pop. There's your shout out for the episode.
Right. Shout out to Frank too if you're still listening.
Frank?
Yeah, I almost shout out. And a public apology.
Okay.
He'll know. That's all that matters.
All right.
If
Then.
he's still listening at this point. So
sounds good.
Okay.
Shout out to our listeners in India and Indonesia, and that one time in UK.
Yeah.
Ren, you want to sign us off? You want to sign us off, Ren?
Ren,
I think
I'll let
Joey
you
doesn't
sign
need to
us
do
off.
it.
I think when Ren starts talking, I'm gonna have him on one of our episodes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to hear his point of view on
let's
Before
do it.
We could do
Jace gets on.
Disney.
Huh?
Darren doesn't even know what we're laughing at.
laughing out of nowhere.
He just started laughing.
Just like that
Just
the
wanted to
last
see what you
picture,
said.
the last thumbnail.
Y'all
yeah.
be dirty with that. We gotta
Yo,
work on the
I
thumbnail.
love
That
that.
thumbnail was amazing. Everyone
That's
loved it.
still our
Perfect.
image on our group chat, and I don't know if I love that or hate it.
Alright.
You should. You know what the thumbnail of this one should be? The picture of Tenet, but take off John David Washington's head and put my face from the last episode right there. I could do it for you. We just put it right there. That's the.
I have Photoshop. I can do
Photoshop,
it.
yeah.
I can do it.
Okay.
All right. So I
boy.
think that's it.
Yeah. So
Send it over to Joey.
Oh, I feel like Kyler was gonna say something
Oh,
important.
I'm so sorry.
Darian always jumps
not
the
even the
gun.
host today.
every time he's always like, "No, we're cutting it here. We're stopping it."
I'm sorry.
He's always like, let's send it over to
Kyler,
Joey. And I'm
please-
like, oh, I
please
have one more
finish
thing to say.
everything up. Finish it up.
Whatever,
Thank
yeah.
everybody. Follow everything. Go ahead, Kyler. Say it.
I don't even remember what it was going to be. Pretty much like that, yeah. Thanks for listening. Leave a
Ruined it.
rating and review if you like, or tell us you hate us if you want. Joey, go ahead and sign us out.
Well, thanks for ruining the ending, Darian. Well, that's Lights Out on the Light Bulb Podcast.